Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of The Flank. I'm joined by the human turret, the world champ himself, one of the best ARs to ever do it. Give it up for Sam LaRue, aka Octane. I got some of the best analysis in the game. The world champ himself, Christopher Duarte, Parasite. We got the multi-world champion, the multi-champion, a legend and icon to the Call of Duty space. Give it up for Patrick Price X. And then, of course, we got the one and only, the executive producer of The Flank. Give it up for Benjay Nassim. Gentlemen, what's going on? Long time no see. We regroup yet again. And today we have some Black Ops 6 beta talk and some Rostermania. How you guys doing, man? You guys doing all right? Sam, we'll start with you. You're looking good over there, man. Looking good.
Thank you, man. Yeah, I was playing the beta, grinding the shit out of that. Other than that, just normal shit, dude. Par for the course, normal days.
Absolutely, Sam. That's good. What about you, Chris? I see you got some new lights over there.
Oh, yeah. Setting up, decorating, I guess, a little bit. But yeah, pretty much just grinding the shit out of the beta. My chair stinks. And outside of that, going to my brother's wedding this weekend, leaving on, the 6th? So I'm only going to be able to play, a couple hours, actually, of the second weekend of the beta. But other than that, yeah, nothing.
Nice.
Nothing
Your brother's getting married, huh?
Yeah, that will make it. So every single person in my family is married, at least all my brothers and sisters, except for me and my little brother. We're getting old, man. Fuck.
We are getting old. My brother just got married too. You got a speech written or what? You gonna say a little speech or what, man?
Nah, nothing written, bro. It's just if I say anything, it'll be off the dome.
Nah, you gotta say something, man. You got to.
I will,
I just did 2 speeches. I had to do because my brother just got married, and then my best friend from high school just got married. I had to do a double speech.
Oh,
you know
shit.
what I mean? But it was good, man. That's good. I'm happy for it. That's nice, Chris. That's very nice. You know, you're next.
Yeah.
Benjay, how you doing?
Fuck.
I'm doing good. Same as the other guys. Just was super grinding the beta over the weekend and had a good time.
You must have been getting shit on. No, I'm just kidding.
We were using Ben to lower our SPM.
I fear I beat you in a kill race, although I did get carried.
I was a part of it.
But it's all good. No, but grind the beta. Obviously,
football.
I'm excited for football to start tomorrow. We're recording this on Wednesday. NFL gets back up on Thursday. It's that time of year, man, for the football Sundays. I'm just excited to get back in that mix.
That's good, Ben. That's good. Ben, you competing this year or what, bro? You playing some tournaments and shit? You grinding?
It might be my year, Tom.
Might be your year, man. It might be your fucking year. Then, of course, we got the one and only Patrick Price, the Slayer, already throwing tomatoes. What's going on, Pat?
Going on? I just wanted to say, Chris, you said that your chair stinks because you were playing the beta. I got bad news for you, brother. Your chair has been stinking for a long time before that beta. But
Damn.
Sorry, Chris.
I'm good.
That's
I'm
crazy.
Good, Tom.
My bad, Chris.
Just grinding, you know me. Yeah, throwing my tomatoes.
That's good, Pat. So I'm just calming down Gizmo because he was going nuts over there. I think he saw a squirrel outside. But we got a lot to talk about. First and foremost, I say because we're around beta time, I say we just talk about the beta and give our quick thoughts on the beta as a whole. I'll swap screens over here as well so you guys can take a look here. But with the beta, man, I mean, I'll give my first impressions on it. I really like it. I think the movement feels really fluid. Like the sliding, the diving, everything feels super smooth. So I've been really happy with the movement and just like the gunplay of it, like the way that it feels. I do have a little concerns on maps. I think the only map so far in the beta, I mean, listen, it is a beta, right? We do gotta say that it's a beta. We've only played 3 or 4 maps so far. I think Skyline's a good map that could work. I feel like it is a little bit on the smaller side, but I think it would play at a good pace. I think especially because in Post we're playing 6v6. If we were to do 4v4, I think it would play out a lot better. And then Derelict, which, by the way, am I saying that right? Is that how you say that map?
Yeah.
Derelict is a pretty good map as well. I just don't know how it would play. It's a little narrow. I don't know how it would play in Hardpoint, but I could see it being a good search map for some reason. I don't know why. I just feel like I could see that map being fun to play in S&D.
The only reason I don't know if it'd be good search is because I feel like you could just spawn up immediately off the rip and just literally chuck nades and stuns immediately over and just cut off like everything.
I mean, that's fine. I mean, isn't that? I mean, you can't just nade people's spawns from the rip. Like if you move up, you gotta be careful of pre-nades, 100%. But that's always been a thing in COD. I mean, watching out for pre-nades and shit.
I think the other issue with that map is you can kind of watch the crosses from a lot of high ground spots. It's like if you get the right setup 4v4, it's gonna be really hard to cross like the 50-yard line on that map.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I think the only map right now that we've played is Skyline. That's probably the only map that's probably salvageable. The other maps might get better based upon spawn fixing in 4v4, but There was also a private match glitch, Tom. I don't know if you guys even got to dabble with that, but we were actually able to spawn in on the training course. Apparently, that's also a map. Like if you, I don't know if you actually did the training course,
Nah,
but
I didn't.
spawns you in on a map, and we played it. And that map was a lot bigger. Like it was actually like a normal COD size map, I think. And it had some verticality, and that map wasn't too bad.
Yeah, and then
but I'm curious to see what the rest look like.
I think Scud. I don't see that being a competitive map. It's just way too open. I mean, I don't know if you guys agree with that. That it's called Scud, right? The one with the satellite.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how you guys feel about that map. It's just a little bit too open for me, I think.
I don't think that's a competitive map.
Unless maybe Search and Destroy, maybe S&D on it. Might not be too bad. I don't know. But obviously, we'll get to see more of that, when the game actually drops. We'll get a lot more maps. But I see new things coming because they're doing another week of the beta. So they're raising the level to 30 now. They're balancing some weapons out now. Spawn tuning they're doing for the next beta. Increased weapon XP earn rate, audio improvements, bug fixes, and more. So I think the spawn tuning is interesting. There were some funky spawns, but I mean, in 6v6, it's kind of hard to judge spawns, I feel.
Yeah, because everybody blocks everything and some weird shit happens.
Yeah, everyone's just running around chasing dope.
Yeah. I mean, there's really not much you can do.
The weapon balancing is interesting, Tom. I think on the agenda I put a reply from Maddox. It seems like the Jackal, which was probably the preferred weapon during the beta, will probably get a nerf. Obviously, we'll see if the other sub that was used during the COD Next play a week ago also makes it into this beta, like the Milano regen SMG. I forget what it's called. You guys remember what it was called?
It's the Tanto. Tanto. The weird thing is about the 74U.
They're nerfing the Jackal, man.
Or I keep calling it the 74U. We all know it's a 74U. It's the Jackal. You guys know that's not even the fastest killing SMG in the beta.
What is it? The C9?
Apparently, the C9 kills faster.
I mean, the C9 kills pretty quick too, but it's not as good as at range, I feel.
Yeah, I think it's the range that really kills it in comparison, and also the Jackal aims in fast as fuck, and like really no matter how much I've tried, I can't get the C9 to aim in just.
Good, this Ames though is crazy though. This Ames.
We're talking about ARs right now, Tom.
The Ames is fucking. I don't know. I've seen
the best AR in the game.
Bro, I've seen. Listen, I was watching Dan Ghosty use it yesterday, bro. Bro, that shit is good, bro. That gun is good. Actually,
the AK-47 is insane. If you guys have leveled that thing is actually.
I haven't leveled it too much.
It kills fast as fuck, medium range.
What about you, Slayer? You been playing the beta at all?
Not really. I played for like a couple hours.
Oh yeah, a couple hours. You like it, Pat?
Nah, I didn't.
Okay. Why didn't you like it, Pat?
I didn't think any of the maps were good. I was actually having a convo, and this is just pure speculation on my end, but Treyarch historically was known for their good maps. And over the years, I feel like they just don't have the same people working on multiplayer maps, and it made me wonder.
Definitely not.
If all the lead level designers and the core level designers that are still remaining at Treyarch from back in the day are now on Warzone and not working on anything multiplayer related, because we know how big of a Warzone or how big of a priority Warzone is for Call of Duty now. Because I don't understand the level of quality drop off in map design, especially from Treyarch over the last few years, since I would say BO4 to now. But yeah, I mean, look, I've said the same thing since 2019. COD just doesn't play the same to me. It doesn't feel the same to me ever since Warzone was introduced. I also despise that, and this isn't just this game, this is all CODs now, that the subs now kill at long range faster than ARs do. I don't know when that I can't remember when that transition happened, but I think that's the worst design choice of all time, because subs just don't feel like subs anymore. They're do-it-all guns, and you can argue about which guns are better, AR or subs, but it's more of a high-level thing that subs do shit that subs should not do. But anyway, yeah, I played a little bit. I wasn't impressed by the map design. I think the movement stuff is cool. I think that is a cool innovation. I think they're really only able to do that with skill-based matchmaking. Could you imagine that movement with no skill-based matchmaking?
Yeah, that's awesome.
You would literally you would dismantle the comp. There would be no comp.
I was watching a bunch of streams from NFL players playing the beta, and some of them are lower SPMM, and you can tell not as many people trying to camera fly on corners.
The crazy, you guys, I mean, we've seen the videos every year. I think Exclusive Ace does them, where it's they massively like bring their skill-based matchmaking down, like they reverse boost, and then they get into lobbies. Nero Cinema, I don't know if you guys follow him. He posted a video where he did this, and it's like it's crazy.
Oh,
It's
internet's going down.
Wait, can you hear me?
I hear you. I hear you good.
Well, Chris
Yeah,
says internet's going down. It's crazy. Like he basically reverse boosted an account down to like, I guess he just suicide over and over. But he was playing a game after he did that for a while, and it's like, it's an entirely different game, and it's always crazy to see that.
I'm back. Hello.
Because at least
Yeah,
Yep,
we
we're
hear you.
Hey, Chris.
Okay, my internet
Because
went
at
down
least
for a
from
sec.
everything,
Yep.
at least from everything I saw, like, I mean, at least my games and all the games I was watching at the time, I was watching you play, I was watching a handful of people play.
Mhm.
It looked like y'all were playing wagers out there.
That's
Every
Yeah.
map.
No, it got
Every map.
insane. It got
Wait,
it got
hold on.
really sweaty.
'Cause I have
Really
friends-
sweaty.
I have friends that have like invited a whole bunch of subs or viewers and stuff like that. One of my friends, even like Sway, he like used to be in FaZe, like FaZe Sway or whatever. I know him through Xtify, and he was playing with like people and inviting them, and he was checking their combat record on COD because you can tweet at like the COD account and like check the people's like combat record, and he was just inviting like bots. And he got like a double nuke, Locke got a triple nuke, just inviting bots. And if you watch the gameplays, bro, the players that play this game that exist out there that we don't see are fucking crazy, bro. Like actually playing with their feet. It's wild.
Entirely different game.
It's crazy, dude.
I'm trying to get in those lobbies.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it
for
would be
sure.
fun.
Same
It would be
lobby,
fun
Sam.
sometimes to sweat. It's just, bro. Like obviously, we want rank play. Which speaking of rank play, I have this graphic up right here. We got rank play dropping in season 1. This is 100%. I'm guessing because colleague tweeted it out. This is like
Yeah,
100%
they announced
started.
it
started.
coming next too.
They talked about it at COD Next. So season 1 traditionally launches like December.
Yeah.
So if that's the same
Well,
target
COD Next they said
target-
maybe. Didn't they say maybe at COD Next?
No, they said it was.
Oh, did they? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. So we should get it before the end of the year. It's supposed to end of February, beginning of
probably-
January.
What time did you get it last year?
I think
Yeah.
we got it like February or March or no, it was like
It's
February.
like end of
March.
January, I think, right? Or February?
Really?
It was after Boston. Was it after Boston? Then that would have been the middle of February. Then.
It had to be February, March.
Yeah, it was middle of February then.
Well, I mean, I
That's
think
a
this is a
W.
W. This is a huge
Thank
W.
God.
I mean, I think rank play is like the one thing. I mean, when I play COD, I want to play competitive COD. So like, I've never really been kind of like the pub stomper guy. So to get like to get rank play in this early, I think is really cool because you can just kind of hop into that right away, and you can just see how the maps play out and how the game feels. I mean, you can get right into it. You know what I mean? But go ahead, Pat.
I was gonna say this isn't as surprising to me just because Treyarch's been making ranked for every Call of Duty now for the last like 3 years, right? Like they've been completely owning it. Even
Yeah.
though like Modern Warfare 3 was Sledge's game, Treyarch was making it. Same for MW2, Treyarch was making ranked.
They got the
so,
system down.
Yeah, they're like it's their own title, so it's not surprising to me they're getting it out a bit early.
Yeah.
That being said, they need to make it better, and I feel like they should change the icons, bro. These icons we've had for the last couple of years, I'm just bored. Like, as a person that grinds ranked all the time, the top 250 symbol looks the same all the time, and I just need something new. Hopefully, they change stuff or make the system better some way. Maybe add like a rejoin feature, stuff like that. That'd be great. Hopefully, anti-cheat stuff comes in. Anti-cheat's been this is crazy because I don't know. A lot of people may not play anymore, but I feel like it's been better in ways. I've been able to report cheaters, like spam report them in a game, and they've gotten kicked out in game. They've gotten ricocheted in games. Now it still needs massive improvements, but like they've tried. They're trying. So I mean, I guess that's pretty
But it
good.
seemed like they were being very ban happy. I saw a lot of creators just getting banned.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that in the beta, yeah. I'm talking about more so just in ranked. Like the last couple of months, it's been a little bit better
Mhm.
for me at least.
Yeah. So I'm gonna try and get with Activision PR, try and get like Maddox or someone to come on around launch so they can talk about rank play and talk about comp related topics. But I agree with you guys. Like getting rank play early is definitely a W, but like I think getting back to the bigger topic on the maps. I mean, you guys all agree. I think the make or break on this game, the mechanics feel good. Obviously, they'll clean up the packet burst shit and all this little like texture issues. But the map's got to be good, otherwise it'll just be kind of wasted.
It's the
potential,
same.
right?
It's the same problem every year. It's maps and spawns. It's every year.
Yeah.
And it's been the problem for years now. It's always if those two aren't good, it doesn't even matter how good the core gameplay is.
That's
we've said
true.
this. I don't know how many flanks we've said this now in
Bro,
the last
but
5 years.
I swear to God,
Yeah.
I don't know if they did this intentionally. With multiplayer, is like that they purposely made more maps smaller or just made maps smaller because they realized that like when people play MP, like the retention is there for people that like to play shipment. They like to play Nuketown. They like to play these small maps. At least the casual players do. So they probably went back with that like philosophy, and we're like, okay, let's make maps that are going to be closer in size to those. Obviously, not to that like insane fucking degree, but closer in size of those to try to make like player retention better. I wonder if that's what they did, because these maps are fucking tiny, and now they also have the face-off maps that are literally like even like small, like not in between the size of a shipment and in between the size of a 66 max. I'm just really hoping these maps are better, because I mean, like, I'm not going to sugarcoat and say that it's all sunshine and rainbows, that the game is perfect. Like, I love the movement, but the maps and the spawns are fucking terrible.
It makes
like
sense, though, Chris.
These are probably some of the worst maps we've had in the beta for a while.
If you want
They're not
long-range
good,
engagement,
You go to
in Call of
Warzone.
Duty,
Is that where
you
you're
play
going with it,
Warzone.
Pat?
Yeah, you play Warzone.
I was
And if
thinking
you
the same
want
thing when you were
short-range
going with that.
ADHD, like, you know, we've seen it for years. Shipment 24/7 is like the most played playlist ever. Like, I think that's just what multiplayer is now. It's easier to level up. The progression's faster. It's more like, you know,
It just
you're
gets
not
you to more
dealing with
gunfights
campers.
quicker.
Yeah, exactly. I just feel like that is the problem with Warzone being the main product. It's just I feel like that's not changing.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of Warzone, I mean, we've been talking to Hector a little bit about getting some CDL versus Warzone tournaments going. I mean, there's obviously been some debates on Twitter. One of them coming from Zinni Methods. He said, I had people arguing against me last night that Hydra, Shotzi, and Simp teaming together in Warzone with 1 year of practice wouldn't run the show. Shifty then quote tweeted at, if you guys don't know Shifty, he's obviously a top Warzone pro, if not the best, like him, Biffle, and Soko, those guys that run the show down there. They are some of the best at what they do, but these three get dog walked in Warzone by our bottom teams. So Shifty's pretty much saying that the bottom teams in Warzone would beat Hydra, Shotzi, and Simp.
I think Shifty's trolling now.
Well, he's being just very
he's
like,
rage baiting.
He's obviously rage baiting. But the one thing about Warzone is Warzone's like a very like it has a lot more RNG than like MP does, and if anything, it's a lot more like knowledge based. Like COD, you can grind it for years and years and years, and yeah, you still have like a huge advantage. But like, let's be real here. There's like way less to learn in COD like respawn multiplayer than there is in like the essence of Warzone with a giant fucking map and like hella angles and all that stuff. Like Warzone is, I feel like, actually harder to like not be good at, but like be consistent at. If
Consistency,
that makes sense, than multiplayer.
I mean, it's
like,
a different game.
Because it's fucking random. Yeah, of course.
Well, yeah,
it's harder to be
exactly.
consistent.
But that's what I'm saying.
Bro,
Well, I think that's what makes Shifty, Biffle, and those Soka so good. The fact that they're consistently always winning and always at the top, I think is kind of crazy. Those
It's
guys
hard to
are
be
obviously
consistent at
really
anything
good.
that requires luck and randomness at the same time, with like BRs and zone pulls and rotations and all that kind of stuff.
That's a lot more randomness. Being that consistent is hard.
Professional
That's
COD
hard as
is
fuck.
literally zero randomness.
Yeah,
exactly.
But the reality
zero.
is,
Yeah.
to Zenit's point, with all that randomness, a year of Hydra, Shotzi, and Simp, they would absolutely run that scene. Shifty is delusional. He's lucky these guys are still playing in the CDL and not Warzone. They would absolutely run that scene. They would run it.
Tony, what's going on, you fat bastard? What's going on with your tweet here?
I had Super Evan. I was drunk arguing with Super Evan, Shifty,
How many
and
drinks-
Soka.
How many drinks in were you?
Doesn't matter, brother. The drinks were flowing,
He
man.
was fucked up, man. He was fucked up.
It doesn't matter. But I had Super Evan look at me dead in the eyes. He said, this is how it happened. I said, he was like, my team would slam Hydra, Shotzi, and Simp after, even if they had a year practice. And I said, who's your team? He said, you wouldn't know him. I said, so your no-name shit roster is going to beat Hydra, Simp, and Shotzi after a year of practice, Super Evan? Get a grip, brother. The only comp that team would have is Shifty, Soka, and Biffle. There's no argument to it. It is the only, after 1 year, that is the only team that team would be worried about.
Didn't
Is that roster right
Optic
there.
win 4 straight Warzone games in a lobby full of Warzone players?
Correct.
Oh.
Correct.
In a Warzone that no one's played, right?
Rated and Tommy walked over there and dropped their balls and became the highest earning Warzone players after.
Bro, listen, no offense to Rated and Tommy, our low tiers walked over to Warzone and were farming cash. And you're going to tell me that the goats of the CDL scene aren't going to walk over there and dog walk
People
them?
literally quit CDL because they couldn't make it to go be the highest
are we
earners in
serious?
Warzone.
I do want to give The one thing
Gotta give credit to the top Warzone pros for sure.
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes talent.
It takes
They're the
talent,
best
and
at
it's
what they're
I
doing.
don't want to, because I feel like there has been a lot of divide between like the CDL. And I was talking to Hector about this. Ben, you're in the group chat. We were talking about this morning. And we were saying like we love doing like the CDL Warzone things, but people are always trying to compare. And
Well, it's not possible to do a CDL Warzone.
Yeah, it is. That's literally what we were talking about. How it's impossible to do it. We were trying to figure out how to do it. We couldn't figure it out.
One side's gonna be a disadvantage. 1v1s don't mean anything. Them playing 4v4 is unfair to them. CDL going to play Warzone is unfair. And I'm not sure if you guys agree. I actually like if Shifty, Soka, and Biffle came to the CDL and they got a year of practice and they had a good fourth.
Yeah, they could be good too. It's only
but that's the one group where I'm like, yeah, I could actually see those guys being top 8.
There's only 4 good teams in the CDL, so
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I think Warzone. You have the best of the best in Warzone. You have the best of the best in the CDL. Like it's 2 completely different games, and obviously to be the best at Warzone, you got to put in a lot of time and a lot of effort. Like it's not easy. That's why I give a lot of credit to like Diaz and Shifty and Soak and all those guys that are constantly winning and like constantly at the top.
Yeah, chat was asking like chat was saying that I was faded for saying that being good at like being that consistent at Warzone is harder than like MP. Am I fried? That is hard as fuck. There's so much RNG.
They're both hard. No,
they are both hard.
It's just different things.
They're not. I'm saying being that consistent at a game with randomness is fucking way more difficult than a game that is consistent all the time. If that makes sense.
Look at the other top tier
saying
BRs.
hard is the wrong word. Like it's just a different style of play.
Yeah. If you guys were to do a CDL Warzone thing, what do you think is the best way to do it? I mean, I actually
don't think it's possible. I mean, honestly, the only thing like I don't know because those guys play search and stuff. Like
that's what I said. I said maybe S&D.
Like they play search, but it's like
they don't grind it.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Then you do it when a game first comes out, and like the brand new maps and the game just dropped. And at that point, there's a bit of RNG there because the new game just came out and no one really knows the maps.
The only other way you can do it, my bad to cut you off, but the only other way you can do it is if you played Warzone when the new big map drops, like literally before any of them get reps. Anyone gets reps, like at all.
Tucker, you guys know Wheel to Wheel. Tucker was in my chat earlier, and Tucker suggested maybe one way to do it is that tiebreaker mode is COD Mobile. You put everybody on a game they're not familiar with a phone in their hand.
There we go.
Gamers are.
There we
Brother, are you high?
COD Mobile?
Hey, Tucker high?
That's just pure. That's just pure.
COD Mobile.
Out right now.
No, the game is actually, I heard godlike, but what, brother? You're going to play on an iPhone?
The hell is this guy talking about?
The only way,
iPhone 15, brother.
Samsungs, I think.
The only way to make it fair is literally you make it so Warzone, like if they have to play each other in Warzone, it has to be when the new map is new, like completely fucking new, where there's no knowledge gap in terms of like map knowledge. Period.
We just did that, didn't we?
Yeah, we won.
Wasn't that a COD Next?
No, but no. But
and then they won 4 straight.
Hold on, but also like not to call you out, there was people saying that like you guys were not supposed to be partied, and a lot of people were playing random.
No,
and also,
no, it's not true.
Well, that's all. I'm just going off of word of mouth. So like, so there's no like false information here.
That was
like,
hearsay, Your Honor.
Okay,
people have been partying out since last year's.
You get the point. You get the point. I'm just saying, like
Modern Warzone. We killed Modern Warzone as death comms. He was like, "Stay alive. I want them again," and we just fucking walked over him once more.
Oh, those guys are terrible.
No, you're talking in bed, bro. That's my guy.
He bagged his head.
And also, I think there was like multiple lobbies, right? There wasn't like only one.
Yeah,
right?
no.
Yeah,
Listen, that was all. Listen, I promise you, and I'll say it myself. That does not prove that CDL's better because we won 4 games dominantly in Warzone.
Bro, chat is sucking cock, by the way. I'm just not gonna sit here and just like blatantly just like sit there and agree with everyone just because I'm like a part of the MP community.
All I want to say is there are a good amount of
my bad chat
top Warzone pros that tried to make it in challengers and it just didn't fall their way. So
it's a lot easier for CDL players to go to Warzone than it is for Warzone to come to CDL.
Not even close. And if anybody debates that,
and that is the only actual metric in which to gauge, I feel like which one is actually harder, because you're not going to have a head-to-head in any like actual competitive way that would be like fair for both sides.
I agree. I mean, literally, me, Tom, and Hector were seeing in a group text today trying to figure it out. So, like, if anyone is watching this live or watching this like afterwards has an idea on the best format of all time, my fucking email is
really
in my
not
bio.
possible. The only actual way,
if it's good, we'll fucking run it, dude.
Listen,
bro, the only
as much as I want to, sorry, Chris.
Go ahead,
the only way that there's actually is if one side practices the other's game for a decent amount of time for it to actually be an actual combo.
Yep.
There's no way to actually do it unless you give whichever side wants to go to the other side, a chance to practice and then play. It's
And it'll
not
never
possible.
happen
I
because
think the
there's
only-
no point for the talent in the
I
CDL
agree.
to go make less money.
I
Reality.
personally think the only way they can do it is if, like, day one of the Bo6 release, when there's tournaments, you play each other on maps that are completely unknown, obviously, to everybody, and you just play. And then you keep a tally of those current maps, and then you continue it when the new Warzone comes out. When the new Warzone comes out, day one, you continue it and, like, keep it. I know that sounds insane because the whole, like, you know, versus each other would last forever because you're waiting for maps to drop. But, like, you can always argue that whenever a new map drops, the knowledge gap is just, like, way smaller than it'll ever be. So that's probably the best time to do it, if that makes sense.
4v4 team deathmatch.
No, bro. I just
No,
bro,
I'm not saying that.
When I
Or
was
before
arguing
kill
with these
order,
guys,
fuck
like
it.
I just don't like. I don't like. I think Shifty and Soka and Biffle, those
They're
guys
good.
are an anomaly. Like
They're very good.
I still think if Hydra, Simp, and Shotzi had a year of practice, which was my hypothetical, that those guys would still be comp, right? I still think Hydra, Simp, and Shotzi would be better personally.
I mean, they're good. They're just
yeah.
not Hydra, Simp, and Shotzi.
But they don't understand that, brother. Shifty was like, okay, who's going to anchor and play support? I said, brother, you do not understand. Just wait until Hydra's running at you. It's not fucking, I'm not going to name drop. I don't want to be mean, but like, get a grip, brother. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter who's
Wait,
anchoring. It doesn't matter who's IGL.
Anchor play support in Warzone mean? What does that even mean?
Well, Ahsoka is their
In
anchor.
Resurgence, like
Yeah.
Resurgence game mode, they're the ones trying to
They
stay
have an anchor
alive.
that like plays their life
Yeah.
while. Imagine Hydra with plates.
But like,
Yeah.
you can also kind of do that by
This
committing.
This
with
guy's got the
armor
evil
plates.
villain laugh.
Imagine
the thing-
Hydra with armor plates.
The thing is this: is those
That'd be
guys have
crazy.
those guys have insane gun skill. I think we're talking like in circles about the argument. Those guys have insane gun skill. You give them a year, learn the maps, learn the rotations, learn the setups you want, certain circles. They would be very competitive, if not
Bro,
kind of beating Ahsoka.
I don't
Shifty,
even
and
understand
Biffle
how this is even a back and forth. They are the only exception to our argument, by the way. That's what we're basing this whole argument on, is their specific team in Warzone is the only one in
Correct.
Warzone that even
Correct.
has a shot in hell.
I would-
There might be some other
99% of the
people,
player
maybe
base
a
is
few. There might be a
fucked.
few
I don't
other
get how
people in
this is
there.
an argument.
It's also crazy that we are in the
It makes
year
no sense.
2024 and talking about the best players in the world being compared to glorified TDM players.
Correct.
All right,
That's what Warzone is.
let's
Well,
move on.
That'll get quoted on the poll check. So
Hell
I mean,
yeah.
that is what Warzone is.
It is time.
glorified TDM. They took their most popular thing and turned it into a TDM 200-person playlist. That's literally what it is.
It's lazy
Like-
full.
I'm confused.
I want to move on to some Rostermania talk here. There's obviously been a lot going on since we kind of regrouped. I know a lot of what was going on in the Boston camp kind of changed a little bit. So this is Jacob Hale just pretty much dropping a bomb on a TL saying that Boston's not going anywhere, at least for this year. They're not going anywhere. Apparently, they're still talking to players. I don't know. And I don't think Jacob Hale really knows. He might know, but apparently they're not offering too big of contracts out to people. I know in past years they've probably spent a lot of money on trying to get big talent. I mean, especially that one year when they got Slasher and P-Dog and all those guys. Snoopy, I know they invested a lot in Snoop and some of these guys. So, I mean, what do you guys think about this? I mean, it looks like Boston's trying to get out, and they have one more year to go. That's what it looks like to me. Like, they're just kind of
No,
like
they're
on
not
their
trying
line.
to get out. They actually want to be in very bad.
Oh, they do want to be in. Okay, just from the
Boston-
outside looking in, it looks like they're
So
they're
I
on their
didn't
way
like how
out.
much hate they got.
Well,
Ben,
they
you
may
can go
they may
first.
want to be in, but I think the reality is they don't have the funds to be in the way they want to be in.
Yeah.
Well, I do think the market's correcting itself for the first time ever this year. I mean, behind the
First
scenes.
time ever, brother. We've had 5 teams paying league minimum now
No.
for 2 years.
No, but this is like, I don't know.
We're just having
I
more
think that-
people get
I don't
involved
think-
in that. But I
Exactly.
feel like it's been corrected. Like
I think
we have half
outside
the
of the
orgs
top
trying
4
to get out
teams,
and sell, and they're
Like-
changing orgs.
before you had like for example, like Boston's weird because before their roster shit the bed, I think a lot of people agreed they kind of won the offseason. They get Priesta, who was unexpectedly dropped. They go and get Slasher. Everyone was pretty high on Snoopy. But
Yeah.
Boston essentially, and we held this opinion. I'm not sure about you guys. They probably built the 5th, or at the bare minimum 6th best roster on paper.
we
And then
put them in
and then
that
they
like upper
sucked.
tier.
So and then they fucking suck.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
didn't have them that too low before we saw them play, obviously.
Yeah.
So
But
they're
here's my question to you, Zen, is like, do you, I hear there's a market correction, but like the Boston situation has been more than just COD, right? They're unwinding their Val team at the oxygen level. There's a whole situation with Rocket League. Like from an org standpoint, like what is their, what have you heard about their stability going forward? Like, is there a new line of investment coming in order to support these activities? Like, I think that's the question I'm kind of wondering at this point.
Did Boston fall off when you retired, Zinni? Go ahead.
Listen, I love the guys over there, man. I thought
Hello?
Beans could get it done. He just wasn't as big as me in game.
Damn.
Are they
Specify
still
the
back?
in-game.
Are they still backed by?
No pun
Robert Kraft
intended.
Group?
What
Oh,
happened,
actually,
Pat?
No.
Are they
No,
still backed by the Kraft Group? That's who that was their original backing, right? When they entered
Correct.
CEO.
Yeah.
Are they-
I mean,
do they still
honestly,
have
I
that
think the
funding?
common trend, and just like this ties into Boston too. I think all of those like sports owners look at LAG, look at New York. All of the guys that were like super big in sports or business are kind of trying to get out now because they were sort
Yeah,
of
they got
promised the
finessed by
next.
Bobby.
Yeah,
And
they were
Bobby's
promised.
Bobby's out
They
of
were
here. Took his own
promised.
parachute.
They were promised the next NFL, and now the teams that are rumored to get back in are esports teams. Look at Cloud9. Fnatic has
it
interest. Obviously,
should've
Falcons
been.
care a lot. So I think pretty much every single big sports guy is like, "Fuck this, sports are back, COVID's done. Let's get out of this." Is what I
Sports
think is
are
going
back,
on.
COVID's done.
Yeah.
Which is fine because those endemic orgs want to obviously support esports at a grassroots. They're in multiple games. They have large brands within the scene. They have endemic partners. Like if that's what we pivot to when the LAGs of the world get out, yeah, Pat, I agree with your long-term take that the CDL has been a mistake, but at least we get to a situation where the partner, the sponsored teams, franchise teams are all orgs that
I
we
don't-
think
yeah, I
are
don't-
growing the scene
I don't
together.
disagree. It's what it should be, but it's just like that's fine. But it's like we always knew that. We knew that 6 years ago.
It just
This
took
is-
many, many millions of dollars for them to know it, Pat.
Yeah, but that's what I'm
Apparently-
saying. It's like we already knew this. All we're doing is going back in time to where it was. Like that's what pisses me off. We wasted 6 years of competitive Call of Duty.
It's crazy
This is-
how uneducated
Yeah,
these
but at least it
teams
was
were.
on shit games. It's not like we wasted any good
But
ones.
Yeah, but the problem is we aren't getting any good ones.
I think for the
Yeah.
Boston situation, so now that they're sticking around, and if you read the Jacob Hale tweet, like they are talking to people, what does their front office look like? Is Doug involved?
Hopefully
Who's going to be
nothing
coaching the
like it
team?
did before.
Wait, they're
Well,
still sponsoring
players-
Doug's pull-up thing though. That's really all that matters.
Hey, shout out to Doug, man. If he could pull that off, I mean, I
Yeah, it's
see him
actually
training
tippable,
every
bro.
day. I mean, it's tippable as fuck, man. Watching him
been training for
train and like
2
get it all
years, right?
done.
Yeah, it's
I
like
mean-
18 months, I think.
I mean,
Yeah.
Doug is a different breed, bro. He really is. He's insane. Shout out to Doug, man. We'll be rooting for him. The COD community's got to get
But-
Doug's back for that one when he's going for the pull-up challenge. We got to support him. Go
But
ahead,
after
man.
a disappointing year, like what roster will be here? If they're not going to
I don't
pay
know.
the 90, 100K, six-figure plus, like what kind of roster are they going
I'm
to
willing to
assemble
bet.
here?
I'm willing to bet they go with something close to what they had at the Esports World Cup and just sign them on small deals. I would not be surprised at all.
So I mean, they should go after. I mean, if you're going for value, I think we saw what Vios and them did last year with the LAG squad. With a little bit more money, maybe they're able to get an overperforming situation in Boston. And we could
They
find
already
it back.
have their coaches. I'm pretty sure Shawnee's still involved, and so is Magic.
So
Is
they
that
had
what you
Shawnee
heard?
in the video, so I'm guessing Shawnee's still involved.
Well, they
This is
let
a genuine
Zed know,
question.
Right? Zed made a post.
This is a
Right.
genuine question. At this point, if you're not a top 4 team, like, does it make sense to spend more to be a top 6, top 8 team? Like, is
No.
there a difference between talking top 8 and
Bro,
top
give me
10?
a second.
Like, at
No.
what point is it like, you know what I mean?
There's
Like,
nothing. It's just showing up on Sunday.
You're not if you're,
or
if you're
getting
not
to
a
a
top
Sunday,
if
I
you're
guess.
not a
Exactly.
top 4 if you're not a top 4 team at this point, you're signing everybody for minimums and making them earn
Yeah.
it. If they
That-
want to
that's
get
the-
paid
that's the
more, they
problem,
have to
though.
show you a reason to. And if
With the
players are not
exception of
happy with that,
Thieves,
then
I
they
do
shouldn't
think-
be in it.
I do
Yeah,
think
yeah.
Thieves is different, by the way.
But
But
that's
the thing
kind
is,
of the
Thieves
problem
earned
with the
it.
top
The thing
four.
is,
I
Thieves,
agree.
Thieves have earned
I
it. Like
agree.
I'm sure they were on pretty small deals going into this year, or like going to the year
Yeah,
prior.
they were not getting paid that much.
Yeah,
this
now
year.
of course, like they earned it. Like that's a smart.
Well, hold on. Did they earn it or did Ghosty earn it?
No,
they
they,
all
no,
have
they
that.
earned it.
They all
have
Myron
that.
But, like-
played pretty good down the
But like,
stretch.
but like we,
They all
we're
did.
gonna,
To be honest,
we're gonna say they're sticking, right? But it's like, would you guys be surprised if they make a 2-person swap if they're able to?
well,
I mean,
we'll
I
get
would
to that
not be
later in the
surprised
show.
if they really feel like they're upgrades, but like I don't think like for example, because you're obviously saying Kremp and Nasty, I don't think Kremp and Nasty are bad at all.
They're not
Like,
bad.
They're
but
not bad at all. and they
Honestly,
mesh
I
well.
think Ultra is the domino. I'm not sure if you guys spoke about
I
Ultra. I
agree.
think everything is
100%
being
agree.
everything's being steered by Ultra. It's like
100%.
everyone thinks about roster changes in the short term, where it's like, oh, Kremp played great, Nasty played great, which is true, but it's like certain players are only available once in a blue moon. So You have to sort of force decisions if they make
Hey, bro,
sense.
that's what happened when
Otherwise,
Dildo
you're
on
not
our team
going to see a
originally.
player. for
All of
2 years.
Ultra,
Yeah.
restricted free
Tom,
agents.
pull up Adam Adamu's tweet. It's the third one on
Really,
that
really
list.
quick though, speaking of them,
Now we'll kinda get to the point
I feel
that
like
Zin's
we have
getting at.
we have to stop saying like the 4 orgs now, and it's really down to 3. I think I don't think we have like 4 dominant players anymore.
I don't know.
Taking
Thieves
away-
continue this path. There might be in that top 4 spot.
No, I'm not
Whose
talking about
tweet? They're
skill
one on
level.
the
I'm
list.
talking about like
This one says
support.
CEO, Tom.
I'm talking about like big players that are willing to spend to get results. Like I think Toronto was a part of that group. I don't think they are anymore, is what I'm saying. So I think
Correct.
now you only have the 3. You have C9, you have Optic, and you have FaZe.
Well, Scrap said it best, and just to like, I'm sorry if I'm yapping, by the way.
No,
I'm
you're
gonna
good,
fuck
you're good,
off
you're
if
No,
you
no,
guys
keep going.
want.
Keep
You're
going.
doing a great
Um,
job.
Scrap said it himself. One of his first statements were, "This roster cannot play together next year." If you don't know what that means that they're all on too high of salaries, and Ultra's cutting their budget. Is what
Yeah.
they're saying.
100%.
So that's why those 4 aren't playing. The only
Which
way
is the
those 4
problem of the
play is if they
1+1s.
take pay cuts that don't make sense to the players. That's the only way.
That's
Okay.
just the way things are gonna be. Like, I'm gonna keep it a buck. Like, regardless of like results and stuff like that. Like, outside of like certain superstar players, like I think majority of the teams,
So
like outside of like
But I feel
Optic
like
and
all
maybe
players
FaZe
need
should
to
be
stop
cutting their
signing these 1+1s.
So
though.
I'm
could be cutting their
confused here,
budgets.
though.
There's
I'm
no
con-
way that
I'm
Let
confused.
Sam
let's
have the
go.
floor. Go ahead, Sam.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Because this is a similar situation that I had on my LAT team, like where we had to so where I'm getting at is they have to re-sign a contract. You don't get the +1 and just change the whole contract. That's not like you have to
Yes.
re-sign a deal agreeing to take less money if you're going to stay on the team. So could they not just all walk? Because if they're cutting,
After
if they're
the
cutting,
season,
if
yeah.
they're cutting the budget,
No,
and
not-
they're
no.
if
Yeah,
just,
listen,
just let me
man.
finish my thought because this is where I'm confused. Could they not, because they have to re-sign a minus cash deal? Could they not just fucking leave?
They
I
could.
get
They
what
have
you're
to
saying.
wait though.
Yeah.
Yes,
say-
if they wait it out, yes. Ben, what he's
So
saying
what-
is
what
if
is-
they
it-
wait, Ultra's
Okay.
not going to pay those 4. Like they're all 4 restricted. So there's going to come a point where those guys become unrestricted unless Ultra pays all of their +1s, which they
That's
don't
what I'm
want to
saying. So these players could end up just going wherever they want to, and then Ultra just fucking sitting there with their shit in their hand.
If they buy them out, but they're like, Toronto exercise the option in his contract. They obviously will put under 1+1 or 2+1 in front of them. They could choose not to sign that. And Toronto's left with, look, are we just going to run them back on the last year of their contract? Or, to Zin's point, just buy them out and then they hit the market?
Well, that's what I'm saying, because they're over here trying to cut cash, because obviously, like, that's what's going on here. It's very clear. Scrap obviously said it on stream. Like, are they just going to not give them the contract offer and then just pocket the cash, or are they going to let them walk? Like, I feel like Toronto's in a very bad spot right now.
They are and they aren't, Sam, because what they can do is just agree to pick up the 1+1 and wait a month, right? Once all these orgs have found their teams, and
Yeah.
then they could cut them, right?
Okay.
Like
That makes more sense. Because I was
think
confused, because when
they
I went
have-
through
they
it,
have
we
the
had to,
control
like,
because
there
they
was a
have
whole
the
thing with
leverage.
that.
So,
That's what
so
I'm still
this
based
is
on
the
my experience with it.
situation that Toronto's in, which is they, to Zin's point earlier, they are dictating the market right now. And then what you look at Adam Adams' tweet here, they are not in a rush to move these players. Okay.
Yeah, they just wait.
They have an opportunity here if they want to blow it up, that there are demand for virtually everybody on their roster. And there is a world where if they negotiate the right buyouts, they could theoretically cover most, if not all, of the salary costs of whatever new roster they'll sign, just purely on buyouts via that
But
accounting
that's the
exercise.
problem, Ben. No one is buying people out in the CDL anymore.
Not
This
the top
market-
four. The only
maybe
ones
this-
are the top four.
this
in my
team is the
opinion.
exception.
I think
though,
depends on a
because-
player, right, Pat?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, somebody like
I
Scrap
don't
could
know.
probably get bought
Now,
out.
Scrap's
No,
different. I think Scrap's the only
Maybe-
player.
maybe
that
no.
I
I'm
would
playing
spend
Kleenex
decent
could get
amount of
bought
money on.
out.
I'm
I'm
buying
playing
Toby
Kleenex.
if I'm anybody.
Well, Scrap and Envoy
Not for the
could
price
have
that
actually-
they're asking, though.
No,
Yeah,
the
well,
price
we
of
know.
that is probably
Listen,
the
based
same.
on past
Oh,
history
hold
with
on.
Toronto Ultra, I know that they be throwing
So, Pat,
numbers
I'm
to the
gonna-
fucking moon.
I'm going to throw out a number for you. This is what I've heard Scrap's number is right now, but I think that is just an entry number to get
Where'd
people
you
to bid
put
up.
it?
I put it in
Mm.
T-Speak chat.
180,000? No way. It's gonna be way more than that. I don't know why you wouldn't just
Attaboy,
say
That's
it.
what that's what I'm thinking.
Just say it,
That's
bro.
what I'm thinking.
We
So
not
what I'm
hiding
Here's
this
the
shit.
thing,
He
though.
put
That's not
180,000.
low in the current market,
Here's
though.
the
Like
thing.
it's not
I don't
2
even.
years ago.
I don't even see anyone paying that. That's the thing. It's like
Yeah,
if,
that's
if
higher
you're
than
not
honestly.
FaZe, Cloud9 or Optic, no one is paying that.
That's cap.
And
People
if-
will pay 180 grand.
Who?
I mean, you
People
just
don't even
named
have
three.
180K to team play their players. How
I
are you gonna pay a
mean,
buyout?
I don't know. There's
Like I
got to be
said,
some.
only
There's got to
three
be
orgs
one
that are
team that would pay
supporting the
100.
league
A team that would want to. A
180K,
team that cares
then-
about winning would pay
You know what's crazy?
180K.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's my point though. Thomas, there's
180K.
only
Then they
three
have to
orgs.
salary him.
Yeah,
then they
yeah,
have
yeah.
to salary him after too.
Like it's
That's
not
also
that
for
it's
scrap,
not that
though.
people can't pay that much. It's that there's only 3 teams that'll do it.
I
and
mean,
2
we know
of
where
them don't need
Scrap's
to make
going,
changes.
guys. We got to stop beating
Scraps.
around the bush.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Outside of the top 3 that we know of, who is paying that? Who's paying a crazy
Well,
buyout?
Well,
So
that
the-
for scrap, we already know C9, right? For scrap,
Yes,
that's
that's what I'm saying.
Stallions.
Outside.
yeah,
of the
yeah. But
top
then
3.
outside the top 3, I don't think Toby and I don't think they're gonna be as expensive as scrap. I mean, they're not
But
gonna get.
I just don't see any org making that unless Falcons do. But we've seen they're dedicated to keeping
Yeah,
their
we got
team.
that gimmick on.
Falcons.
Like, no one else is doing it.
Imagine
No, but
Falcons
if you
buys
also-
him out
no,
and
but-
force them to play with
LAG,
the roster.
Miami,
Yeah, but people
Minnesota,
are-
they're not doing
sorry.
it. They're not spending that money.
No, Sam, you said you'd buy
So-
Toby, but it's like I actually do think the only player that people will like make an effort to buy
Still
is
there as
Scrap.
well.
Because it's like if you think about it, who
No,
would
I
even
disagree
buy
with that.
Envoy and or Toby? The only team I can think of is Thieves. No one else has the money to go spend. Carolina's not about to go buy a player.
I think
Vegas-
Thieves is going to be heavily involved in this
There's,
roster
al-
interaction.
there's also Sid.
I agree, Sam. Because that's
Per my
there's only,
sources.
if I were scrap, the 2 teams I'd want to go
What'd
to.
you say? I missed that, Sam.
I said per sources.
First
Wait,
sources
who?
out of
What team?
Sam.
I don't
LA
doubt they
Thieves.
would.
Oh,
but,
Thieves,
but
okay.
it's like I don't think they're going to be a big player in the buyout. Like
Listen, you're looking at it the wrong way. What teams does Scrap want to go to? It doesn't matter if Minnesota's willing to spend 180K. Scrap
bro,
is
who
saying
cares?
no, I don't want to go
He's
there.
going to Cloud9. Let's forget about Scrap. Let's talk about everyone else.
I don't think that's a 100% certainty though. I think Thieves could be an intriguing option for him
He's
to
not
make the
going
right
Thieves.
moves around about it.
Bro,
They
Scrap
cannot afford
wants
him,
to
bro.
win.
No, he wants to go play with
Regardless-
Hydra, bro.
Ben, he wants to
Regardless
play
if
with
Thieves-
Paco.
Yeah, regardless
then
if he
here's-
can pay
It's
him,
clear
he's
as
going to
day.
Cloud9.
It's clear as day.
Here's a C9 problem then, because then if you know that Scrap's only got one destination, right? In theoretic, then Toronto can draw this out for fucking 2 months. If they know Scrap's gonna leave, they can wait
Some
till
Jamar
fucking
Chase shit. You know the deal's
October
getting done.
10th to
Just
make the
do
fucking
it.
deal. And that's the problem in roster
Yeah.
media right now, because a lot of other moves in this Toronto situation, the Envoy and Toby going somewhere, and subsequent other moves to Toronto, and then the Minnesota, and then the Vancouver, are all going to depend on the dominoes that fall in Toronto. And y'all wonder why roster media is slow. It's because this thing might not fucking resolve itself at the beginning of October.
Speaking-
Toronto's hoping that no one even buys out their players and they could just assign them for fucking less. To be honest, that's probably what they're hoping for.
Or
Am I
they can just
fried?
walk.
Yeah, they're
Or there's
No.
one.
Yeah, well, I guess.
They would
In which all the
prefer.
roster moves happen at the end of all season.
So there's
Yeah,
a
that could
world.
also happen.
There's a world where 3 other players get bought out, because I think to Sam's point, I could see Thieves thinking about a couple of people. There's obviously a tweet from Bronny about Envoy talking to LA Thieves. Obviously, if you're C9, like, are you going to run back Kismet? Probably, but if they do decide to make a 2-person change, you got a combo deal with Toronto. You take 2 of their players. If somehow Toronto makes 3 of them go out for say 200 or 300K, I mean that's a lot of a salary cost of a new roster. Like
The
This is
only
the
argument.
ultimate sell high opportunity. on their
Look
team
at
is the
Ronnie,
sub-market,
man,
so
with
The only
Intel.
player
Look
I
at Ronnie.
consider replacing Kismet with is Kleenex, and I don't think there's any other player you consider.
Wait, I would
for-
replace Kleenex with or Kismet Dill.
I
Wait,
don't know.
you
I
said
think his
Bronny, Ben,
pace
it's
is very
Ronnie.
different than Dill, and I
Ron-
think, bro,
they say Ronnie
I'm a
Madison
big
on there.
Kismet fan, bro. I understand this
I am
year.
too.
Honestly, I think he had a tough year. I'd run it back with Kiz. I think these guys.
Yeah, I
a-
would
a,
too.
a bad year for Kismet was still second at champs for them. They won. Like I feel like
Wait,
that
he
trio.
was horrific. That's
He's
not anything
really
to his
poor in lane-
gameplay.
he's
He
really
was-
He
poor in lane.
was bad, but that
Did he,
trio.
also, did he played
that
good at the
trio
major they
wins
won though?
together.
No.
Like that.
He did. He played
that
well.
trio
He did
plays
play
well
at the
together.
major.
Okay,
Yeah.
but here's the
But he was
I
issue.
feel like this
generational
game
stinky
fits
the
his
rest of the
play
year.
style too. I feel like this would be a good game for him.
Here's the issue I have with it, Zen, is like, you look at the last 2 years, and like the last 2 years, yeah, I know they won 3 events in Modern Warfare 2, but they were also a little bit less inconsistent that year. But map to map, they were pretty inconsistent as a slaying standpoint. They're not a high floor slaying team, and my concern if you run back Kiz, and you swap in Dante for fucking Scrap, and Kiz is still dropping 0.9s, and he can't beat Optic and FaZe, like. You now in a position where you got to pick up a challengers player because nobody else is going to be able to be gettable.
Yeah,
Like,
but if
I
we're
think
talking
it's a
about
risk.
Kismet being inconsistent, you got to talk about Envoy being inconsistent too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Agreed.
I mean,
Only-
Dill was
which is
piss
why
poor at
the-
hardpoint for 2 stages.
Which is why the only player I would consider replacing Kiz with is Toby. I
Can we
feel
back
like
up real
Toby
quick?
Hydra
Toby
would be
was
absurd.
also a little bit consistent this year.
That is
Toby
some
didn't.
pace.
That is that is a lot of pace.
That
I'm
is
not
some
gonna
fucking
lie.
interactions.
Wait,
dude.
well,
Yeah.
also, you can say Kiz was bad all you want, and rightfully so. But Kiz is a big part of the search and destroy gameplay. He's like that's like the one game mode he's kind of salvageable.
He was the
in
worst
this year.
player on land in Search and Destroy for
Yeah,
7/8 of the
for a
year.
bit,
Yeah.
but he turned up and he was good online. He turned up on S&D later in the season, and he was good online. So like, regardless if he was playing,
What are we saying?
well, I'm saying that's still a part of the season. Regardless if he like had like bad stints in search for the majority of the year, like he's probably still a big reason why this team even has like strategies and all that stuff. Like
Like
he
Dill was
probably aids
unreal in
to
Search
that.
last year as well, though. If we're comparing,
Yeah.
Hold on,
that
can
was
we
like his
back up?
one solid game.
That's true.
mode.
That too.
Sure.
Can someone please tell me why we're dropping Sib and not Skies?
Yeah, that's where I was headed. Pat.
Um,
Sib is gonna be fucking huge in this roster mania too, because I feel like he doesn't have like, oh yeah, he's going their spot.
Sib
think
was
Hidden
Sib
Thieves is
was
the most seamless
crazy
thing
for
right
these
now.
guys
I
this
think Hidden
year.
Thieves does sound really good.
I
for
think
sure.
Nasty is good, and like
Played great at
I don't
UWC.
want to act like Nasty's not a good player, but like
Dan
I do
Ghosty and
see-
Sib could go
Yeah.
crazy.
Like I think Ghosty Dante adds a lot more consistent
So,
slang.
so what are we thinking? Thieves gonna be Sib, Envoy, Ghosty, and Joe.
Joe. I mean, if that in an ideal world, yeah.
It's
That's a
great
good
team if it
team,
ends
bro.
up fucking
That is a good fucking team.
They were playing
But the-
rank play yesterday, boy, or not rank play. What
Yeah,
was it?
the
BO6
problem-
beta.
Mm.
The problem with that is all we really are doing now is just swapping top fours. Like we're just out Toronto out, Thieves in.
Oh
right?
no, that's
Like,
so terrible.
I don't think.
I mean, sure. I mean, it's how it is though. Like,
I don't
Hey.
think Toronto's going to get a competitive.
it's,
Oh,
roster.
no.
you're not getting the like old school like roster overturn every 3 months that we used to get. Just there's continuity. The phase guys aren't breaking up. The Alpha guys aren't breaking up. Paco's not going anywhere. So yeah, there's a reason those three are the anchor
Yeah,
teams.
but then we get to the same point we were talking about earlier. To like what Zim was asking. There's 8 teams that really have no incentive to pay or go for anybody because they just winning is just out of reach. They're not getting it.
There's always a chance. There's always a chance a generation comes up and just nobody
Ooh.
saw. But
But isn't that
nobody
just
saw.
the outlook on the league, though, Pat?
The
Like,
only
nobody's
time-
always
the
been
only
on
team
hard
that
enough
could have
for,
was
like,
Falcons,
them.
and,
Bro,
and I
it
think
is,
Falcons
it's
it's
jumped the
happening in
gun.
COD. Like no one saw Alec in them and Infinite Warfare suddenly becoming like a top.
Oh, we're
team
talking about
nowhere.
2019.
But I'm trying
Or
to make
not
the
even
point that it's
2019,
not
2017,
impossible.
excuse me.
Yeah, it's not impossible.
I
I
don't
hear
think
what
it's
you're saying.
impossible. I think okay. So the way I think about the league now is I don't count out a team from making a run at a major. Like LAG went and placed top 3 kind of unexpectedly. I
Yeah.
think here and there a team will make a run, but you're not going to have a consistent team break into that top 3. Like there's no one that's going to rival those 3 on a consistent basis. Once in a
Agreed.
blue moon, yes. There's no comp really like in the long haul.
Mm.
Talk about the top 4 is boring.
Yeah,
Where's
that's
Gwyn
why-
going?
That's why we need fucking like.
I mean, listen,
cut
if
these
team,
league
I mean,
matches in half, bro.
Pat, there might be some teams that might be able to put some people together. I mean, look at 100 Thieves or LA Thieves this year. I mean, they didn't spend a lot of money, and they towards the end of the year, I mean, they made a good run. Like they definitely like. I feel like for the situation they were in, made the most of it, and I think that's
Oh,
what
yeah,
a
they
lot of
did.
these. Right, and now they're entering that year where they might be a top 4 team, right? And that's what I think a lot of these teams have to do. They have to look at this year as a rebuild year and try and figure out how they can be like that 5th, 6th team
Bro,
and then eventually become
hold
that
on, I
top
gotta-
4 team.
I gotta
you know?
address what Looney said in chat. He said, "Stop acting like that wasn't the case in the CWL." The problem is we're fucking forced to watch 90 million league matches a year. So the product is infinitely more boring when there's 8 dog shit teams because we have to watch these pointless ass online league matches.
The
That's
10
the problem.
lands.
A very good point, Patrick.
You can't make the comparison because the format is totally different. It sucks ass in the CDL. It doesn't suck ass as much in the CWL because we went to events and we had fucking group play and shit could happen.
Yeah, you had an event every fucking 4 weeks.
Is there any
too.
League
schedule
matches are
change?
dog
Have they
shit.
said anything about scheduling or anything? Probably
No,
not, right? I mean,
not-
that's
not yet.
No.
Well, bro,
They-
there
honestly,
could be some
destroy
scheduling
the
changes.
Let's
bro,
go.
they
let's
gotta
go.
go. They have to go, brother. I'm sorry. If this happens again and it's the same 12 and every event isn't where 4 teams from challengers make it the pools, I don't know
I'm
what
a
to say at
tweak.
that point.
I'm
I'm
a
not
fucking
I'm not
tweak.
sure how many times this needs to be discussed or how many times we need to watch a pro-am that people enjoy watching before we go back to what is fucking proven. Because here's the thing. So right now, I guess I'll tie Falcons into this, by the way. I want to say I think Falcons was the only team that could have actually threw a wrench in things. Like I thought they were going to go pick up and try to build a team and have their Saudi team be in challengers for a year, but they obviously chose the other way. But so it's rumored that Fnatic, Gen G, Liquid, these teams are all actually interested. And I actually think the only way that challengers get support is if we go back to a format where the challengers teams are consistently able to play against the top teams on the main stage. Otherwise, it makes zero sense to have a challengers team. It makes zero sense
just
to
an
financially
EWC
support a
play at the end of the
challengers
year.
team
Yeah.
unless the league either pays. You know what I'm saying? Like it needs to
almost
happen.
makes zero sense to have a challengers ecosystem with this format. Like that's the
100%.
reality.
There's
orgs
no
support
like
it.
path.
There's no path. Yeah, it's point. The entire ecosystem is pointless as is.
I mean, there's really no downsides to having programs either, because it gives really good exposure for the players that deserve it, playing against the top tier of competition, and like there's
It also-
not
it also
really
keeps
going to be
these-
upsets either.
I
And
could
if
see
there
the
is,
argument
fucking
when there was-
prayers.
I could see the argument when
Also-
the buy-in existed, but now that the buy-in
now
is
that-
gone,
that
there's
was- yeah.
absolutely
Also-
no
Also,
Go
also,
ahead,
it
Go ahead,
keeps
Chris.
also it keeps more of these pro rosters on their toes, because you can't just go to an event and shit the bed. Like we've had pro teams literally go to the events and literally not win a map. Like at the end of the if they play these challenger teams and don't win maps to those guys either, like it's even further like embarrassing. And like I don't know, maybe there's more incentive to work harder. Yeah, you might not be the best team, but do you really want to go to these fucking lands and be shameful and lose to a team that's in challengers? Probably not. So maybe you'll get some people off their ass, because it's it's probably way more likely that these people are going to be gunning for their spots because they'll actually get proper exposure. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It could help even like motivate the bottom teams, right? So
Tommy,
that they
what do you
don't
think?
get worse or play worse.
I was gonna move on to the D-Real
Okay.
situation. That's what I was about to do. Did you want to say anything, Ben?
No, I was just curious your thought if you wanted to weigh in on the topic before we moved on.
Sorry, what was the topic? I was getting this shit up. What was it?
No, we're talking about like
Challengers
going back to
going back to-
pro-ams.
I don't think it's even debatable.
any
If
situation
anybody-
where you can get challenger players to come in and play the pros. I mean, I would love that. I mean, I have the Stallions team. I mean, even seeing them just compete in EWC at the Esports World Cup, I think that was really cool. And if we could see more of that, I mean, that would be phenomenal. I mean, I wouldn't do too many of them though. Yeah, how
I would
many
do it
would
every
you?
event.
You guys
I
want
would do it
every single
every
event?
single major. I would
I
do
would go
every
back
single
to-
major a pro-am.
Brother, it's the
Yeah, hell
proven
yeah.
model. It's what it's the reason why.
How many events you
challengers
guys want a
might
year?
get
How many majors?
As
Four.
many
Many
as
as possible.
fucking
4 or 5.
possible. Hopefully 6.
4 or 5 are champs. I think 5 and
back-
champs is good. Plus
Back,
EWC, so
back
it'd be
then
7.
we had MLG, UMG. I mean, I think 6. Ideally 6 and then EWC. So overall
5
7.
majors, champs, and then EWC.
Yeah, no, my
As
bad.
many as possible, but we don't have the third-party organizers anymore like we did back in the day. So it is what it is. Just fucking EFG Savvy Gaming Group, only game in town.
I
I'm
w-
running.
Yeah, I wanted to move on and talk about the D-Real situation. I think this caught a lot of people by surprise. I mean, all the C9 shit that has come out has caught me by surprise. I didn't expect the Sib thing to happen. And then the D-Real stuff, I didn't expect that to happen. Because I thought D-Real was like a big part of their team and just kind of like who they were, like the team culture. I feel like just especially watching all their videos and all the content that they make over there, I feel like he was just like, I don't know, a big part of them, like a big piece to it all. I mean, I'm not in the camp, so I wouldn't know, but I thought this was a little surprising, and I wonder what he's got up his sleeve. I'm just guessing with there being 2 fiddles at C9, right? You got Troy Sender, now you got D-Real. I think maybe D-Real just wanted to go do something on his own and maybe kind of be the head guy somewhere.
Could
The
also be
team I
money-
think
it
that
could-
makes sense is Thieves. Like D-Real's not like
There
I
is a
don't-
vacancy.
yeah. Like I don't think D-Real leaving to go to like I
Is
don't
he
know
leaving or
Carolina
is he getting
or
cut?
It could also be
What's the
money
wording
related. Like if there's let's say if they're signing let's be real here, if they're signing Scrap, like he's going to cost a decent amount. They probably have to cut corners elsewhere, and D-Real might have been one of them, or they might have offered him less money, or maybe he just actually wants to go somewhere else, and he just decided this was the best move for him. So it could be a majority or not majority, but like a multitude of things as to
Yeah.
why he's not there.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I know where he's going because I already heard behind the scenes. But I mean, I don't
Falcons is a good shout.
want to
Leak it.
leak it. No, I don't want to leak it just
Seems
because.
to-
Yeah, just
Yeah, can
because
you type
it's.
it to me at least?
Yeah, can you put it
Yeah.
on?
Tommy's going Benjay, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I have to, bro. I have to. I mean, I
Tommy's
wish.
going back
I
there,
wish.
bro.
I mean, I wish I could. I mean, theoretically, I could just leak it because I've heard it from a lot of different people, but I don't know
That
how
doesn't
it's not
surprise-
leaked
that's-
yet. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know
That's
how it's not
actually
leaked.
Crazy that hasn't leaked.
Like it's crazy, bro. It's crazy to me that the Sib shit and all that stuff got leaked because I didn't know about any of that, and that got
Wait,
leaked.
Why?
Thi-
though?
I'm guessing
Money.
just money.
So-
I'm
so
guessing. I mean,
he's just leaving to make more money. That's all this is.
Chat, it equals money. Where do you think he's going? There you go.
I mean, I will say though, I mean, he also could just want to be like the head guy, Pat. No, I mean, he could just want to be like the main guy.
Isn't he the head guy in New York or Cloud9?
All right, fine.
I mean-
It's the
I mean- I
Falcons.
mean-
Fine. It's the fucking Falcons. It's
So
leaked
hold on,
here.
hold
It's
on.
leaked. It's fucking leaked.
Leakma.
It's
also the
leaked,
angle-
man.
There's also the interesting
Fuck.
angle too, if you're Dreal, of like, what else can you really do with this New York team?
Fuck.
Right, you had a year where you won 3 events. Like being a dynasty is gonna be super hard. But the Falcons is an interesting challenge. You got 4 kind of raw, unproven players. They're being put in the fucking absolute mixer to play against NA teams. Can you figure out how to coach these guys and get them to overperform? It's an interesting challenge.
No,
Yeah,
you
maybe
can't.
never say never, bro.
Never said it.
Pat, you don't see that there's any hope? You don't
No,
think
I
there's any
he's
hope,
just-
bro?
He's just getting a bag. I mean, good on him. It's probably the smart thing to do. It's just no, there's no hope.
I mean, listen, this is
I-
obviously speculated and rumors, but I mean, listen, if the bag is right, I mean, he's
If
probably.
this is true, I imagine he's going there to then have a longer term plan of how to get good players to also come here. That's my assumption.
You don't have any faith in the culture over there, Pat? No faith, bro. No
I'm
faith.
sure one of those or maybe two are going to be good players, but no, I wouldn't put my eggs in teaching them how to play COD correctly versus just trying to recruit talent in the next
Absolutely
year.
not.
I
Especially
mean,
if they have money to throw around. Like once some of these contracts expire, I would anticipate they try to recruit talent with money.
Well, here's the other angle into it, which is I have heard we're even on the top teams now. Like it is the full on pressure to cost cut is going to affect virtually everybody long term in the next couple of years. And if it's not happening now, top teams,
It's going to continue to
it's gonna happen next season. So like even if you're on Optic or FaZe, bro, like obviously you don't want to dip on those orgs for pure marketing and brand reasons. But like Falcons is an opportunity to like be like, yo, you guys want that 500K, 600K contract? Yeah, we'll take a super team on and like instantly jump that if we want to ditch our setup. I don't think like Luti totally ruled that out in the post he made a couple of weeks ago. So I don't think that's a now thing. I think that's a next year after thing. But they have an
Yeah, but
opportunity to play an interesting role.
I
Going
would
forward.
say it's interesting because I do think there are players available this year that might not be available next year.
I was
I
gonna say,
don't-
is this not
I
like the
don't-
best time?
I don't.
Not if
I-
you want a super team.
I just thought that Falcons would do their Saudi team in the NA Challengers ecosystem, let them grow while also building a team and then playing it by ear that way.
Isn't COD like
And
the
it seems
one
they're kind of
exception
doing
to
it the
them,
other
too?
way.
Isn't
like
that
they're
so
doing-
weird?
So let me give a free advice to everybody on our top team. Do
they're
not
trying to
sign
make a movie, Zinni. That's what they're trying to
listen,
do. They're trying to make a
listen,
movie.
Take this advice from Benjay.
It would be nuts.
If you are on these top teams and you're going to get a 1+1 put in front of you this offseason, do not fucking sign that deal, play out your deal, and be a free agent next year because you can use the Falcons card as leverage at your current org to get a better deal.
Also, stop signing these you're getting finesse contracts where your year 1 is low and your year 2 is high.
Damn, Ben, that's
Never
that's
get your
Skumaz,
year
and
two.
Ben, you trying to Skumaz.
No, I'm just giving people the fucking right
No,
market
it's a
advice
good.
about
No,
their
it is good.
agent.
I mean, the more options you have on a table,
Yeah, orgs gonna be pissed at them and fuck them. Like that's
Love
just how it
leverage.
is. Look out for yourself, man.
yeah. I
Love
mean, you got to look
leverage.
out for yourself and get leverage. I mean, I agree, Benjay. I agree with you. I just think there's a lot of players who don't do that, Ben.
Someone said unless you're a FaZe, even the FaZe guys should do that too, bro. Like you get leverage together. Bro, drive up your market price.
FaZe
bro.
got to
If you
do
are-
it differently, though. They
if
got to
you
do
are
it.
a
They shouldn't be
player-
feeling offers from different teams, Ben. That's not the best way to go about it.
I'm not,
if you're on
if
FaZe.
that's how you feel, I'm not on FaZe, brother.
Yeah, that is a
Are you sure?
terrible way to go about it, bro. What?
Ben, you sure, man?
What we've
Oh,
seen,
I'm
we've
pretty
seen
sure.
FaZe
A real
land, bro.
businessman sits down at the table and you talk to them first about what you want and like kind of where your head's at. And if you're not hearing what you want to hear, then you start taking different precautions. But I mean, you want to keep it good within your camp. You don't want to cause no problems, bro. And Ben, you know that if you're jumping the gun on some of these talks, it can cause issues.
I
You've
hear
been
you,
there
but if
before,
you-
behind the scenes
But
with some of these
if
guys.
you're Optic and FaZe and you're in a situation with the 4 of you guys in your squad can all hit the market together, like that is the best situation for everybody involved. Even if you don't want to dip, you're gonna guarantee that you don't get squeezed on a
Fuck
10
up,
or
Ben.
50%
The
pay
fuck
cut.
up.
I'm just giving the right advice, bro. Whether you want to shit on me, it's
Do
fine.
good business.
Tell your
You know,
advice out.
just because you're talking to other teams doesn't mean you're doing bad business. Maybe you're not getting treated properly at the team that you're at, and you're trying to, be treated the way you want to be treated. You're valuing yourself. I think you should do it the right way. I mean, bro, listen, if somebody said I sound biased in the chat, I'm not trying to sound biased. This goes for any top team, right? Even if you're on Optic, even if you're on Cloud9, you don't want to fuck up something good that you already have going. You don't want to fuck up that situation. And trying to look at different teams and not giving a fuck and kind of being a little too loose behind the scenes, like that can cause problems between your team. Like that can cause issues.
You got to negotiate.
That's why you have an
bro.
agent. He's the bad guy. You tell you
Exactly.
you don't know
That's
what's
where the
going
agent
on.
comes
You know
in.
what
I
I'm
mean,
saying?
that's
I don't know what's
definitely.
going on.
But
He's the one that's
but
leaking
we've had
stories, spamming the market.
situations where agents aren't doing good business, and it's causing problems for their client. So it's like you have to be careful. Like even the agent, you need to have a good agent, bro, that has good relationships with people, knows how to talk. Because if an agent's out here skumazing after year 1 or year 2, bro, people are gonna know. Listen, this guy skumazes us. We got to be careful. Like, there's definitely been some names.
But hold on, I just to finish this thought, I don't see the issue of the org puts that 1+1 in front of me. It's a 10 or 50 cent pay cut. Why would I sign that?
I mean, no, I'm saying
That's what I
this.
said about Toronto.
That's why. Like,
Yeah,
why
no,
the
that's
fuck,
a
why the
different. I'm
fuck would I
saying,
sign
well, no,
that?
Ben, it's very situational. Obviously, it's situational
No, it's
depending on the team and the player.
It's the situation that everybody's gonna be put in. Is there any team you've heard of or any player you've heard of that this window is gonna get a big pay increase?
Probably
Dan.
Dan,
probably
yeah,
is.
Dan's probably the one
Probably
exception.
Dan. I think
So
that's
everybody else is gonna probably have some attempt to squeeze. It's like, bro, fuck that. I'll honor what's in my contract and let's talk next
Yeah.
offseason.
I mean, Dan might get bumped.
I
but
mean-
he's not going to get this huge bump. It's
No,
like
he'll
where
get
the
more,
fuck?
though,
Because where the
for
fuck
sure.
else? Who
Everyone
else is going to
gonna
pay
go
him?
the other way.
That's the reality. Is like all these orgs. I'd be like, well, who's going to pay you more?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
doesn't have enough leverage.
Listen, players, you are facing an MLB situation from pre-COVID. Do not get played. I am giving you the right advice. Look out for yourself and look out for your peers.
More changes going on. We got Serge Vancouver. Still trying to get used to saying that. But Hook, he announced that he's a free agent for Black Ops 6. And then not only Hook, but also Brezzy has came out and announced that he is an unrestricted free agent for Black Ops 6. So a couple changes going on in Vancouver. I actually thought that they liked each other at Vancouver. I don't know. They kind of had like a lot of ups and downs during the year. I don't know what their plans are, but here it sounds like Abuza's probably taking the keys here. I mean, that's what I would guess.
What are they looking to do here, Pat?
Blow it the fuck up.
Yeah, they're blowing it up.
So wait.
I mean,
Was,
Sib Abuza could work. Sib Abuza could be a really deadly combo here. Go ahead, Pat.
The thing is,
Was what we heard before, Tom, that you let me know about just complete bullshit? Or was that?
That's chalk. That's chalk now. That was complete
was it ever
bullshit.
even real?
No,
Oh, okay.
it was complete. Scrap gave out a whole. He gave us a ploy. Scrap gave us a ploy. He gave us a He baited us. He baited us. That
Yeah.
guy.
Wait, what did he say?
He said he's been feeding me false information so we could just see.
good
He
work.
wanted to see if it popped
mean-
up on a timeline, and it did, which means one of you guys fucking ratted. Which means one of you guys
No.
fucking ratted, man.
man.
Tom, I
Interesting.
told you not to tell him. I told you.
Pat,
You
I
saw me in the
think it was
chat.
Benjay.
Interesting.
I think it was
Well,
Benjay.
Benjay.
not.
I don't even
Wait,
know
it
what you're
was
talking
not.
about.
Ben
Yeah,
was
okay.
doing one of those fucking coffee times.
It
Okay,
was
Hey,
not.
I just
My
want to
lips
say, I
are
wanted to say for the
sealed.
record that the two things have been leaked during this podcast, and they have both been leaked by
Wait, are
Tommy.
we talking
Just
about
saying.
the Abuza to Toronto
Just
thing?
saying.
Okay, well,
that what we're
Sam
talking
said,
about?
"Oh, money.
get
Who do
what's
you think
wrong
it
with
is?"
that,
Chat, and the
though.
whole chat was spamming
on.
it. They're not dumb,
yeah, because
right?
they're not
ZMF is very
morons.
smart. They're very smart people.
I don't
Yeah,
get it. Is there
you just got a
anything
smart
wrong
chat,
with
Tom.
You
any
know
That's
what I
your
mean?
fault.
it's not my fault. They know
You
everything.
got
Go
to
ahead,
tell
go
the
ahead,
You
Jack.
chat,
can
Tom.
you can say shit that was
I don't
false.
understand. If CDL Scrimtel or Intel CDL is going to leak, why can't we? Who gives a fuck? If you
Yeah,
hear
I
something,
mean,
just say it
I'm
at
gonna
this
be
point.
honest.
It's going to come from
Those
them
Twitter
anyway.
accounts are rats.
Usually, I wait until shit's leaked, but that certain things have just not been getting leaked.
Get all
People
the
just haven't been
interactions,
saying.
Tom.
Listen,
Hop
I
on the
have
train.
a theory. I have a theory here.
What's your
You
theory?
can clickbait the title.
So Sturge is blowing it up, right? Except for Abuza.
And
Maybe.
for-
And 04.
And sure,
Okay.
Interesting.
it's time for JCap to right his wrongs. JCap
Quick win,
to go
guys.
to the Surge
To coach
and
with
actually
Rambo.
implement the Gwyn guys like he should have a year ago. Thoughts?
I think Cap just moved to
Honestly?
the East Coast, so I don't think he's moving to the West Coast, brother.
Wait, I'm gonna keep it a buck. If I were Gwyn,
04 and fucking I don't know, Lynn's that would work.
unless somebody
What is
offering
Porter?
him
Porter's
more-
texting me
Wait,
stupid
hold on,
shit
hold
right
on.
now.
Unless
go ahead, Chris.
I was gonna say unless like somebody's offering him more or he's stuck on Ravens, I think Gwyn tries to go to Toronto and play with whatever leftovers there are there, because I have a feeling I don't. Okay, we were talking about Kleenex.
What
We were talking about
leftovers? Those
scrap.
guys are getting looted.
I was gonna say, yeah. I was gonna say, wait, hold on. We were talking about Kleenex. We were talking about scrap. We were talking about Envoy. But like, Insight's not a bad player. Like, we also
Yeah,
like
but would you rather have
forgot
a
about
boozer or
him.
Insight?
Well, I'm saying you can have both.
I don't
I'm saying you
No.
can have both.
What?
I
don't
don't
want
think,
both.
I
Well,
don't
I'm
think
saying-
that makes sense.
Who wants both?
Well,
I don't want
I'm
both.
not. I'm not saying. Okay, play style.
Why
Wait,
you
no. Hold on. Play style wise, like you can't act like this guy can't change like completely.
We're
Like,
going
you
into
never
a
know.
title
Crim
that is
6 sent me this
guaranteed to
picture
have
and he
small
said
maps. I
Intel.
let Abuza
Great.
nowhere
That's what
near
Crim
the
6
world.
did.
Bro, why are
Well,
we?
no, I'm not. No. I'm saying both. Like
He
if they
sent
have
me this
two
picture.
ARs,
He
like,
said Intel.
Him and Insight, like
Press your Twitter.
hypothetically. Wait, I'm not necessarily. I'm saying
Yes, you are.
Insight's a winner. Like, and
You're
he's like
going
a good
into
leader.
a title that is guaranteed to have small maps. We saw Booz on a sub, and I'm not putting Jamie anywhere near a submachine
Yeah,
gun. brother.
Abuza.
Phase is not changing,
He
by
just
the way.
wasn't. He just wasn't
He
insane.
wasn't
They
God,
would be
and guess
dumb
what?
to
I want him to
change.
be God.
They'd be
That's
dumb.
what he's running an AR.
But also, I think this year, like a lot of people are gonna have to use multiple subs if like the maps are like this. Like that's just gonna be
Exactly.
everyone.
So
Yeah.
why would you want Abuza and Jamie to team?
Well, I'm not
I
saying. I'm
agree.
not saying. Hey, I'm just saying. Like, there's a world where like they try to build with like Insight still. They keep him, and then they go from there.
Mine is
I,
just
I agree with Sam. If you are trying to do like a two main situation, this could be a bad year to try that out.
Correct. I think you were trying to build your team with the most pace imaginable going into a game with omni movement and guaranteed small maps.
100%. 100%. I mean,
think
you're trying to
Insight's
build
kind of like
pace.
the.
You always want pace,
I-
though,
I
right,
think
Sam?
Insight
I mean, you
is
always
the
this game
want.
is like
Dude,
it's
Insight
paramount
is
Tom,
still
because
a
last
good
year
player.
No, Insight.
MW3
Let
pace
Sam talk.
it.
One at a
He's
time,
in
one
a
at a
tough
time, one at a
spot.
time, one at a time. Let Sam go
talk.
first.
Bro, MW3 was built on scamming. That's literally all it was. It wasn't like you had to move quicker than the other. Like, obviously, you need to take space and do that shit, and teams weren't. But, like, MW3 was all scamming and throwing your life away. This game is going to be cracked movement, sprinting, sub-dominant, small map, high engagement.
So
I am
then,
trying to have
Sam,
motherfuckers sprint.
Yeah.
Why would C9 get rid of Sib and keep Skies?
That's a good question.
Yeah, I'm not
We
sure.
don't
They,
really
they
know.
maybe
I
they,
mean,
they like
we
Skies. They
like
probably
consider
like him as a
playing
teammate.
for
They
sure.
probably like what he
Talked
brings to the
about
table.
this on the
Yeah,
last
but the
episode.
game we're talking about, like, it doesn't make sense.
Well, I think they made the decision long before they touched his beta, and we
Well,
talked about in the last
you
show.
fucking update your decision.
We talked about in the last show. Like it seemed like it was a performance decision because Dante didn't like pure stats play that bad this year. It's probably just they were all not on the same page.
Bro,
And
Dante was literally airing
wait,
their
yeah,
dirty
Dante
laundry
was
on
on-
stream the other day.
Yeah, he was.
What,
What
but
did he
how?
say? I want to know.
I mean,
He was-
Dante
he
was
was cooking
prepared.
their,
Dante was
their-
prepared to come on tonight. He's just not home. He literally texted me, say,
Yeah.
"Yeah, I'm ready to spew, but I'm not here.
Yeah, he was.
I'm not."
Zen, he was talking about all like the extra shit that they had to do and like how much crap like New York was asking of like their team in preparation, and he was just like unhappy with the environment of the team essentially.
I have a clip. You guys want to watch
It was
it?
like a
I mean,
10-minute
it's
video. It's
yeah.
literally
I
a
mean,
10-minute
it's
video of it.
pretty long. I don't know if I want to watch the whole thing. How long of this should I play out, Ben? Can I play out all of
It
this?
said
I haven't
that
seen
it
this.
Play till 2:02. It's like
202.
1 minute.
All right,
It's like a
let's
1
let's
minute
tune in. 3, 2, 1. Here we go.
I was like, bro, I'm not doing this 9:30 shit. Y'all got it.
And if MC had to wake up at 9:30 and be at the facility, motherfucker.
You late, you get fined. GG's, bro. For sure.
Nah, I fucking.
For sure. Nah, I'll take it, I guess, bro.
Nah, that
Bro,
is
you-
that is
you-
insane.
Bro, you
Actually,
got me showing up at 9:30, going back home to take a shower after a team workout. Then we come back to do VOD. Then we do other shit. We just keep do VOD the whole time. Then you gonna make me play 3 sets. I'm working 9 to 9. 9 to 9.
nah,
I'll be eating 3 meals. That shit is insane.
that is
You're getting
insane.
there,
actually.
son.
Okay, I'm gonna end it there. He said I'm working a 9 to 9. I mean, listen, I will say I'm a firm believer.
Yo,
like
Hydra's got to fix that. I wouldn't.
your
I wouldn't be doing that.
your mental is also a big factor of the league. Like I don't think you should over practice and overplay. Like I think what players do outside of the game is so important. Whether it's just like even if they're just
just as
going for
important.
He said
walks
9
or
to 9, no
or
free
working
meals.
out or playing having a different hobby. Like I think doing other things other than just revolving everything every day around COD helps you. Like I think
Which is
it's
another
good for you.
problem with the CDL because I will admit there were some good introductions. You also had people coming in who have never been a pro player implementing these routines that it was just pure guesswork, right? Like I'm not saying some of it wasn't good, but it's like if someone who has never been a pro player or in this pro player environment is telling me the routine I need to be on when I've been a pro player for a decade, you know what I'm saying? Like there's a clear disconnect.
Go ahead, Sam.
I was just gonna say, do we remember? I think it was probably midway through the year when they were struggling the most. When we said that, like, or was it Ant? Maybe there was a clip. When we were saying that New York like over practices and was like trying to be too perfect and like trying to in scrims you could tell that they were trying to prepare themselves for every little scenario and all this stuff. You guys remember that conversation?
Yeah.
This clip literally proves all of that.
I do remember that
Think about that on the.
They're addressing every single thing, bro. That's why they were
like-
dirt shit.
like,
at the
hey,
beginning of the
Sam, we
year
had
because-
Sam, I remember
That's too
conversations.
much shit.
Sam, I remember conversations we had in the beginning of the year where we were talking about how structured New York was playing. Remember when they were
Yeah.
using their streaks and they kept fucking up their streaks and they were always
Yes,
trying to play
bro,
so perfect and we
12
were
hours
cooking them
of
for it.
COD a day is fucking insane.
Yeah, that actually is crazy. That's a
Listen, chat.
lot.
I know I'm gonna sound here shit and just don't. 12 hours a day of Call of Duty is gonna be fucking terrible.
And
I get it.
before
I understand that we're playing
before
COD,
there's
I get it,
comments
but-
too, yeah, I know there's gonna be
Bro.
comments like, "Bro, you're playing a video game." Trust me, when you're playing at the highest level, it's different. When you're playing every day against the best players in the world and you're actively trying to get better and you're watching film.
sissy boy. I was delivering
rather
the
be a deep sea
newspaper at
welder,
4 a.m.
brother.
on the bicycle, and then I was working with concrete, sissy boy.
I got soft hands, streamer.
But yeah,
But there's like
Never seen a callus, boy.
there's research in sports and I think in other stuff that like if you are doing a repetitive activity after a certain amount of hours, your ability to retain information,
Yeah, your
recall
brain turns into
information
mush, dude.
is
Bro, it's not
difficult.
about that. What he just said is absurd, bro. If they're showing up at 9:30, they have a team workout. They have to go home and shower before practice. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, that's overdoing it.
Like,
So-
you don't. If you're doing that, you do it maybe once or twice a week, right? Sure, do a team workout once or twice a week. Like, you should be.
No wonder kids was getting
You should be wanting these players to want to hang out together outside the game, not forced every single day. If anything, I think it actually could cause
They
more
were trying to make the
animosity.
bulldog into a
Agreed.
chihuahua.
Like, I
Agreed,
think
yeah.
it would cause more animosity to force these guys to hang out for 12 hours a day rather than try and incentivize them for hanging out.
Wait, hold on, real quick.
on their
They
own
did this-
accord.
They did
Agreed,
this
then.
after they won champs. Like they implemented this after they had a
so
successful
I
season.
think they may have been doing this last year, and someone
I
was saying
tip
in
it
my
'cause they were
chat
frying,
earlier.
bro.
hey, if they were
That
doing
is
it last
super
year
burnout.
and that's what led them to them winning champs and shit, hey, we got to tip it that.
That's
Dante,
super burnout
so
for
Dante
me.
later in the clip says they did switch this up by the middle of the year. So by the end of the year, they were not doing this routine.
Oh, okay.
But I think a key other lesson here, like
They
for
were
New
already
York,
chalked. They were
New York
checked.
and like other teams is when you're picking up a player and you have a certain team culture, like make sure that you're picking up people that are going to match your team culture. If you're like kind of banking on, oh, they're going to adapt, it's going to be an easy fix, or we'll figure it out the first couple of months, that might be a flag that maybe that player isn't the right pickup for your organization.
Well, how does the rest of the team feel about it, right? Like we hear a player who gets released talk about it, but like, do all four of these
Wait,
players even like it? For
Dreal
all we
said it
know,
was
they all
once or
fucking
twice
hate
a
it.
week, and he stopped it after Major 2.
Yo, Tommy, what did you
Alright.
send us in the,
So we're
in the
getting-
blank
we're-
DMs,
That's what
bro?
Krim sent me. He sent me
There you
that
go.
and said this is intel.
Ignore the crim fucking.
Yeah, we're getting
Get back to the
mismatched
point.
info here.
Get back to the point. What were you trying to say, Sam?
D-Real said it was once or twice a week, and they stopped after Major 2.
So
That's
basically,
not too
Dante's
terrible,
gassing
then.
it, is what you're saying.
Sounds like.
Being dramatic. Anything to
did
say
this-
on the Vancouver situation? Anything? I mean, I think I
So
could see
I do
Sib and
wanna
Abuza
say
being good
real
subs,
quick.
are good
I
ARs.
think-
What do you think about the
I like what they
subs?
kept.
Go ahead, Duarte.
Mo-
Take the floor.
money
Or go ahead,
aside-
Zinni. Go ahead.
Money aside, I think if I was a player, I think that's a pretty desirable destination with 04 and Abuza. I think both those
agree.
guys showed a lot of promise. Like, I think if I'm trying to beat some of these top four teams, I think those guys are like important pieces that I would love to play with. Obviously, money
Agreed.
matters and all that. And
Agreed.
living in Vancouver, some players are like, I don't know about that, but those guys are gross. And if I was a player, that's somewhere I'd want to go.
I mean, you
Yeah,
had two
especially
rookie
if they
of the year
get
candidates
Sib.
right there.
Especially because of how good they are at search.
Bro,
Like,
if they
it's
get
like
Sib,
04
if they get Sib and it's Sib 04 and Abuza looking for one and they need a sub player, I mean, you're trying to get on that team as a sub. Like if you're Envoy, maybe,
Sib
right? If you're
back to
Kleenex
Surge.
or some of these guys.
There is zero chance that Sib isn't trying to go anywhere that isn't Thieves first.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm curious if Cobra is maybe a potential spot for Vancouver, although he was more of an AR player this year, correct?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
he's
they
an
need
AR.
they could use an AR.
They
Cobra
need
and
two
Abuza
ARs.
could work. Cobra and Abuza, and I know Cobra.
And then 04 is on
They
a
got the
second sub.
cam.
There's
for-
also that they played on the Awaba Bobs, did they not?
They got
Yeah,
Cam.
they did.
The Awaba Bobs, man, what a team.
is
There's
going
I'm
to
also
win.
really, I'm
somewhere
really
out
excited
there
for
in
Challengers.
G2.
Challengers is gonna
But,
hit,
but,
bro.
but I will say this for Vancouver.
Cobra's a
Couple-
shooter.
Couple of key things. Boots play great at the end of the season. 04 definitely got to continue learning respawn. Don't want to like take too much away from this season because he was purely an S&D grinder and learning respawn like on the fly basically. That being said, they were not getting that much of a good S&D team down the stretch this year. That's an area of improvement for them because I think that's why they kind of got into trouble against some of the better teams at Champs, at EWC, because as good as some of their like bread and butter respawn maps were, their S&D was not that good. Like you would think they were good.
And fucking go next.
Yeah, you think they're a good high-rise search team, but they were just sub 500 in that map, even though 04 is dropping double digits every map. So
Yeah.
we'll see. They could be an interesting build destination. I agree with you, Tom. They could make something.
There's a
special
lot of
there.
the mid-pack teams that are going to be interesting, bro. There's a lot of mid-pack teams that I'm excited to see what they do because that's where like all the fun is, dude. We know where the top 4 is going to be. Like that's fucking, I guess 3 now.
Yeah.
Like that's probably done. Like all the mid-pack shit, we get to cook them or praise them. Like that's where all the fun stuff is.
I mean, Gwyn, of course, is a player that people want to play with too. I still think the Domino is Ultra, and then based on what Ultra do, for example, let's say Kremp or Joe or Nasty become available, I think that's the next Domino. So I feel like everything rides on Ultra. Nothing will happen until Ultra move.
I don't know.
I feel like it has like Thieves has to be the next spot for like anybody right now. I think.
I think you'd want to play with Dan, and then
Yeah.
I mean, and I even think Joe's a good person to have. I mean,
But-
Joe's
but
been
here-
great.
I'm
here's the
super high on
thing.
Joe. Actually, genuinely no bias. I think Joe's insane.
Getting back to what I said about with New York and Dante, is Dante a good personality fit for the way that Thieves is? If he is, then I agree. It's kind of a no-brainer. I thought Nasty played great at the end of the season, but it's a business. It is what it is. If it's not, and you're trying to adapt Dante to what you're doing, like it's risky, and you may end up in the same spot where he's 1v3 on shit you want to do on a daily basis, and it just doesn't really work out. So
I don't think Thieves is that type of team. So where they have like these insanely strict, fucking crazy
Hell no.
ass.
Sid
there's
and
no
Joe,
way.
Sid and
Well,
Dan are going to
well,
fucking
hold on,
hotbox the team vehicle
hold
on the
on,
end of the
vouch.
match.
hold on, because they are a West Coast team, so when they get up for scrims, they're not getting on at 2 p.m. They're getting
we
on
were
at
in
10
that
a.m.
compound 10 a.m. sharp.
So you're not going to be able to sleep in on this team. I know Dante in that clip was talking about like workout timing and all that. You have to get up at 8 a.m. if you're going to play on the West Coast for Thieves.
I mean, they'll end a lot earlier though.
Could someone please tell me
Correct.
why the pro teams are still scrimming at fucking?
Which I'm sure he can get up in the morning. I don't think that's a problem. You know,
No,
I think
no.
if
Why are they not
Well,
scrimming at night?
if you're doing a 9 to 9, it's
No,
problem.
no,
You
no,
play
no,
your
no,
matches
no,
at fucking 2
no,
p.m.
no,
You should get on
no,
the
no,
schedule.
No, scrims should
Cheers.
change. Pros should start a little earlier, and challengers should start later,
Correct.
just like we used to. For some reason, and I don't mean to sound rude, most challengers should be working a job while also playing challengers. given the
Yeah,
current
I mean, I
climate.
was just actually just
Party
talking
circles.
about this morning because I was talking to
Or going to
Symbols,
school.
and Symbols he works a
Or
job
going to
and
school, correct?
and Symbols has been trying to like really compete and kind of enter like challengers, and he wants to join a top team, and he was even telling me like the only problem is whenever I try and do this, like I work a normal job and I can't keep up with the scrim schedules because they scrim during the day.
Do you want to know why? Do you want to know why the pro teams, or not the pro teams, the challenger teams, the best ones, they still play at normal scrim hours because most of them are fully dedicated and they think they can get like, they'll often get like pro practice. Like,
Bro, some of those guys have been in challengers. I'm not
Listen,
kidding,
bro.
for 7 years.
Listen,
I
this,
know,
this
but
might
that's
be a
why
hard
they
pill
do
to
it.
swallow, but nobody in challengers should be quote fully dedicated to challengers.
oh, 100%.
Unless,
I
hold on,
agree.
the rare, the
Ooh,
rare ones
what's the
are if
hold
you're
on
like,
example?
if you're like 18, you're really young, like you can do it for a year, sure, but it's like, brother, given the current climate, first and foremost, the
Even
money
then,
isn't as
why-
Even
inflated as it
18 is
was.
like the hardest.
Oh,
You're going into college.
yeah, you can
I already
still,
argued.
You
You
can,
Probably-
can
bro,
play the CCL. You can do the CCL and do
anyone,
school. And
anyone
Yeah, I
could
agree.
succeed in challengers part time just as much as they could full time. That's the reality.
also, I've said this before. I'm sorry if you are like, as a person that was in the scene for a long time, like to a degree, you are wasting years of your life with the only return potentially getting in the league. You're getting paid a minimum. You're telling me that you are doing this to potentially get paid a minimum? Like, let's be real. Unless you're fucking the next coming of Jesus, you're not getting paid these giant, insane salaries. You are trying to get into a league to get paid a minimum, and that minimum salary, it's great, but it's not. Brother, I'm sorry. You could probably get an education and get paid way more. And I
TCL
get
is
it.
a
There's
great path.
passion.
But
Yeah.
but even
There's
then, for
passion
instance,
there, but come
going
on.
back to what Ben said earlier,
Honestly, I think CCL should replace challengers. I think CCL should be challengers. CCL sounds way better than challengers.
get a
Getting a
you get a
scholarship to go to
yep.
school, and play COD, that's best of both worlds. If you're a challenger full-time playing challengers, unless you're like maybe 1 or 2 people, not the smartest idea. I'm sorry. Like
College
you
COD
need
has
to-
always been a cool concept. It's always been a really cool. I mean, it just hasn't. I mean, it's gotten bigger since it started. It just hasn't really. Not everybody's in it, you know, which kind of sucks. Like I do wish Tony that everybody that was
it
like
should
where
literally
everybody
replace
goes.
challengers.
Well, the
College- like,
reason
every team should be dedicated. I'm not sure if it's possible.
Yeah, but then
College is
it's-
way
But then
better
there's
than-
always. But then there's always the thing where like if somebody like graduates or something like that, and like they're still trying to like compete, like and it's only CCL,
No,
like
okay, I
there wouldn't
get
be room
that.
for that.
red
So,
shirts,
like,
baby. No, I'm joking, but like, I mean, part of
Nah,
the reason
the
that shit's
CCL is
never
great.
blown. Yeah, CCL is great. The reason it's never like blown up with like mega investment is just and
Well, I
college
don't
athletics
know.
are very
There's
complicated.
a
with
well to be
the
fair, there is
NCAA,
a
the
lot more.
conferences, the fucking CAA and WME are also involved in intellectual property rights. It gets very complicated. But go ahead,
There's a lot more players that are doing that path nowadays. Like there's
100%.
so
Dan.
many more. Like
Dan's a great example of that.
Dan did it. I know.
Silly was doing it. World champion went to
Silly was
CCL,
doing
dude. Do you know how mad I'd
Yeah,
be if I
Silly's
was a
doing
college
it.
player and I fucking loaded in against a world champion?
Just finessing a
You know how
college degree.
you know how infuriated I'd be, dude?
Cruz
Coming
is
off
doing
English
it. I
101
think
right into the blender.
Dylan Rex was doing it. There's a lot of people that are involved in that type of stuff. So good on them. But
Yeah.
Crib's schedule is still
it
kind of
just sucks that
not as smart.
Activision bought Tesla and kind of didn't do anything with it. So I think on the like official CDL angle to do some kind of combo with CCL, I just don't think that's a path right now. But people should be looking at CCL a little bit harder. I agree.
Yeah, Fame's done it before. Noisy's done it before. There's been a lot of people that
Either
have been
way,
involved
if
in
that doesn't
CCL.
happen, at the bare minimum, the scrim times need to be at like 6 p.m. starting. That way, like
People
make-
can work
like-
part-time jobs
yeah,
at least.
exactly, bro. That's unacceptable. Like some challengers might have the luxury, whether it be family money or whatever, to like really do whatever they want full time. It needs to be inclusive to every challenger. Like that shit needs to start at 6 p.m., which is what we did as pros back in the day. There's
For
no
10
reason
years.
challengers need to start at 2 p.m. That
Bro,
is-
I'm telling
that
you,
is
there
dead.
are teams that literally play on that schedule because they want to get pro practice, and that's the only way they can, and that's the only reason they do it. It's literally no other reason.
But I will say the only time if you're in college or high school, like in parts of December when you're not at school, like you can do the 2 p.m. thing. If you're in college and after finals you want to go to that schedule, like great. But I agree with everybody else. Like once you get to the middle of the season, pros on the esports build, and they're not playing challengers players anyway. Like you should be on that 6 p.m. later schedule. I agree.
Gaming was more fun when you were scrimming when the sun was down, bro.
Well,
Facts.
the reason
Just
pros
got
are
home
not
from
gonna-
school or just got home
Yeah.
from work.
Bro, Halo used to scrim at like 2 a.m. It was insane. They would literally start scrimming at like 2 a.m.
But I mean, there's a reason the pros don't do it anymore because otherwise the downside is then you can't do anything at night. Like you can't have an actual life.
You would back in the day. You would basically wait till everybody was home. There wasn't
Yeah.
even like a set time. There was no set time. It was just, well, is he home
Yeah,
yet?
you would
Is-
tweet.
Start
He would
scrims
tweet
at, like,
TS.
6, 7.
Yeah.
7
just tweet-
o'clock.
You
And
just
play
tweet needed
till-
TS.
You'd hop in
couldn't get a
Skype.
scrim anymore.
Yeah,
Bro,
we're
you
old,
should,
man.
bro.
We're old, bro. We're old.
Bro,
I'm
on
just gonna get
Xbox,
offline.
on COD 4 days, you would just have everyone added, and you would either use the GB forums or you would send a message to your entire friends list saying M2AF, message to all friends, need TS, and people would hit you up. That's literally how we had scrims.
I never did
Wait,
that.
really? You never did that? That's what I used to do back in the day.
This Pat was in demand.
You must have been having trouble finding a scrim. You must have been tweeting Sean Abner for scrims because that's crazy.
Well, that's
I
just not
I had
true
scrims
because
every time I got on, bro.
I won tournaments back in COD 4. Like what? And
I
I
don't know, bro.
competed in
Sean
Sean
everything.
Abner, holy shit! What a fucking tournament.
M2FA, bro. Like you're
Yeah,
looking
people
for-
used to send that all the time.
for
Ziggy will
team
tell you.
scrims?
Yes, back in COD 4.
Oh,
Yeah.
No, like early, like Black Ops 1, like super early. Pat, maybe it was different for you because you were kind of like
I was running
at,
shit, huh?
at the top early on back
I
in.
was running shit. Huh?
This
People were,
guy was
people
the
were
only
sending
person scrimming.
M2FAs because they couldn't get a scrim with me, huh?
Well, because you were the only full-time player in like 2014, 2013. It was complexity, which wouldn't go to work or school, and you guys would just run shit.
I was going to school. My whole
my
team was.
bad.
That's why Chris's team won COD champs. That's what happened. Listen, Chris's team.
Yeah,
was
we
all
won champs,
full-time.
guys. My bad. I
No.
practiced for the tournament.
Crim's there. Crim can confirm, bro. These guys were scrimming 24/7, and we're like, oh, these guys are ass. Let's just drop out, fry them, and then see what happens.
Drop
That's what-
out. You guys drop. I didn't drop
Well,
out. I
we
finished
finished-
school and
we
everything.
finished-
I was.
We all finished
and
that
also-
first year.
and
Our
al-
BO2 year. We all finished, and then we all
Yeah,
left.
I was gonna
Crim
say when I
left, Heath
played,
left, I left.
I finished my high school degree and then played
No,
COD. That's all I
we're
did.
talking about college, not about high school. 2013 was out.
I
We were in
didn't
college.
even.
No, but can I
took
say
a-
it one more time?
took
Because
time
like I
off. I didn't
actually
wanna go
do
to
think this is
college.
like very serious, and like obviously topics change. Like that challenger scrim time needs to change. Like I don't want
Yeah,
that to be
it
like
should've.
over like that. That is something that needs to happen to be inclusive to everyone.
I've told them
to
that.
look out for their future. No, but it needs to happen. It's not like
it
talk.
was starting to
It
switch
needs
like
to
this
fucking
year.
happen.
It was starting to switch
I think-
this year, but I
I
think
think
agree
this
with you,
year.
Jim.
I think this year there was teams would start at 4:30, so that's like the second scrim slot instead of start. So they would do they would do 3 scrim slots starting at the 4:30 one instead of doing like the scrim slot at the 2 p.m. one. That's like the only thing they've done. But outside of that, no, it's just been the same.
It's like, look, again, I get it in January and February, but once the pros are on the esports build, there's no point, bro. Shift
No,
later, like
no, but Ben, you're also only thinking of people in college. Like people need to work jobs too. Like going to college is not like it was 30 years ago. Sometimes people choose to not
True.
go to college and get a job. Like it's 2024. You know what I mean? Like the times have changed. So to be inclusive to everybody, I think that shit should, at the earliest, start at 5:30 Eastern, in my opinion. I would say 6 Eastern, to be honest.
The only exception to that is like on elite days if someone wants to get a full set in before that 6:30 start time.
Of
But
course,
yeah,
there's
but that's
exceptions,
just
but I'm
'cause it's
talking about
scheduled.
Yeah.
the norm. I'm talking about the baseline. Exception, sure. If you have 2 teams that you know are get off work early and they want to scrim at 4:30, go for it. But for the most part, it's like these players are fucking themselves over long term by scrimming at 2 p.m. It is bad.
Mm-hmm. We got another clip here. We got some more Rostermania. We got Clayster with a little clip here. Porter, give me 1 second. We're watching a clip.
Well, I got 0 offers, though, so it looks like I'm not playing, bro.
Nah.
No
A lot
way.
of time left. A lot of time left.
Play.
There's a lot of time. You gotta see how it shakes out. You gotta
There's
see how it
there's
shakes
only
out.
4 potential spots, dude.
You gotta
That's a
see
lot.
how it
That's a
shakes
lot.
out, man.
Nah,
Feels
nah.
spin right now.
4.
Potential
Okay,
spots.
so you got to think about it this way, right? Top 4 ain't picking me up, right? So that's 4 off the board, right? Then you got LA Thieves, who's not making a change because they just got second and they got a young
Oh,
roster.
they're not making a change?
Right, so
Oh.
that's 5. Then you got Heretics, all
Are we
Spanish,
late on the
6.
intel?
You
I
got
think we're late on the intel.
you got Falcons, that's 7. So then you got 5 left or 4 left, right? Because LAG isn't a fucking org anymore, right?
What's wrong with my gun?
So you got 4 left. You got Carolina, you got Boston, you got Rocker, and you got Surge. Fuck your gun, dude. So there's 04, right? I just got kicked off Carolina, so that's not an option. There's only
Maybe they changed their mind and pick you back up.
there's
You gotta
only
think.
there's only 3 other
That's happened
options.
before, Jim. Bro,
Well,
man.
I got
All right.
0 off.
Clay, letting everybody know I was tweaking. My gun was
You were
sideways. You ever get that gun glitch in the beta where your gun's like sideways and you can't shoot? But yeah, no.
Yeah, I got it.
Clay was pretty much just yapping and just pretty much saying that he couldn't, that it's just looking slow right now for Clay. I mean, do you guys think there's any hope for Clay? And then we also, of course, got the one and only Dreal Attach, because with the Falcons situation and the Vegas Legion situation, Attach also hit the timeline. Just letting everybody know that his contracts will not be renewed.
Clay will-
don't
Clay will
think
only get
there's
picked
any
up if
hope
he
for
hit-
Clay, and I think it's the best thing that'll happen to him.
Clay
Damn,
will only
Porter,
get
what
picked
kind of
up.
mic you got, bro?
Clay
What
will
do you-
probably
what do you
only get
mean?
picked up if he gets put on like
Echoing,
a team
man.
with like that has connections. Like let's say like somebody
Hold
like
on.
gets put on a roster and they're like, okay, like they fuck with Clay.
Yeah, I think Clay is in a tough spot this roster. I mean, I don't see him wanting to play challengers, so this is going to be a tricky one. Dylan will get on the team.
I love Clay, but I hope he stays on the desk and shit. Not gonna lie, he's
Look-
a great addition to it.
Clay's a legend. He won't go anywhere in terms of the Call of Duty scene. I mean, I know when you're kind of on your way out. I mean, Clay's obviously a great player, but if he doesn't get on a team, I don't think it's the end of the world for Clay. I think he'll go on to do like incredible things. But
I don't even think I want to get on a team if I'm Clay at this point.
Dude, that's what I've been saying.
What does
Vin.
Clay want to do? Go
Why
get paid
does
the
he wanna
minimum and
get
play
up?
with a shit team?
Nah, he
and
probably
be
doesn't.
miserable
He
when this
probably
guy
doesn't.
has won world championships? Like at this point, if I'm Clay, I would choose the alternative.
where do you guys see Dylan
He still
going?
feels like he has it in the tank, dude.
No, but Chris, sometimes it's not about that. Sometimes it's about knowing if it can happen or not. Because like,
yeah,
sure,
of course, but if he
play
has the means,
individually,
if he has the
but if,
means
like,
to, bro, and that's
if
what he
he's
really
getting
wants
a
to do,
minimum
then that's it, up
contract
to him,
with
bro.
players that he knows probably aren't going to win, it's like at this point he's just hurting himself long term because people are going to start filling these roles that he would ideally like to have. Like it's not as simple as like.
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
know,
I'm sure,
it's-
but I mean, when you care about something that much, bro, like you're just blind
trust me, I
to
get
all
it.
those things. I'm sure that he's probably thought about it in his head, but I mean, if he just cares that much about like playing, then he's gonna try to find a way to do it. And if he can't, then he's
But
cooked. Like,
to Zen's point, and Zen has firsthand experience. Like he saw an opening on Seth's watch party, he quit mid-event, and it's the right call to make. He wasn't gonna let that get picked
That's
by
insane.
Bo6 or
That's
someone else.
insane.
He's like, y'all getting in that. Yeah,
It's
sponsor, I'm
lucrative,
out.
man.
I'll announce it right now on the stage.
That's crazy. Yo, Porter, what's good, bro?
Bro, is my mic good? I think. the
Yeah, you
shit's
sound better
fucked.
now. You sound way better
My
now.
fucking cat always sleeps on my roadcaster, dude.
Oh, what the fuck?
Bro.
Fucking foofy.
Cat hair on your
What's going
fucking
on,
mic?
Porter? How's life? How's racing? How's the beta?
Good. I just finished the edit.
Nice.
On
You've
the
been
beta
grinding,
clips?
bro. You've been grinding COD. What, you coming back to COD or what?
Yeah, coming back to Call of Duty competitive content.
Nice.
see you on rank play next year.
I'll see you in rank play. Peggy.
Absolutely.
Let's go.
What are your overall thoughts, Porter? You like it?
Dude, the beta's like, okay, everything in my brain is telling me these maps are dog shit,
But
but
you're still having fun.
but it's fun.
It is.
Yeah.
Because you're sliding really far.
And tell me why the Black Ops 6 game overall just copied X Defiant's whole fucking flow, dog.
Crazy,
There it
huh?
is.
It's lit, Pat. It's your game, but better. I'm sorry to say.
I mean, they've had 20 years to make it, so that makes sense, Grim, that they have better netcode.
That was a low blow, Crim. You know what's going on there.
Lovo.
Oh yeah, that's
sorry.
actually
I'm
something I
sorry.
didn't even
I'm sorry,
mention, bro. Dude, does anybody think that game's hit reg is insane? Like it's just insta regs, or am I tweaking? 'Cause
BO6?
that-
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, BO6's hit
Yeah.
reg is crazy. Like for a Treyarch game, like I did not expect that. That's just
Why? I think a
random.
lot of that is the product of polish, right? Like they've had 4 years to work on this game, and when you get to that point, like, you can spend a lot of time kind of QA testing, kind of doing the final things at the end instead of rushing to get features just fucking ready for actual
Dude.
release.
I message Maddox. Did you guys ever notice that there's like a graphical glitch where you could see opponents like literal like shaded pixels through buildings and stuff? Did you guys ever notice
like
that?
on past
I
CODs, or
noticed.
like on this one?
I noticed
No,
it
on
on
this one. On
I
this
noticed
one.
on Scud sometimes. Like you can just
Yep.
see like it's like you can see the pixels, individual pixels on random parts of the map.
Dude, I sent that to Maddox. He's like, we're already on it. We know about it.
I feel like every time that Maddox tweets, it's like, yep,
That's
we
usually
see
how
it.
it
Yep,
works,
we're
though.
good. Yep.
Like,
Yeah, but they're on their shit.
I
I
can tell you,
really
the
like
majority of the
how
times you tweet something, it's already known.
I
Like,
do
that's
really
just the
like that they're
reality
open
of the game.
communicating now.
Especially on a build like this, which Pat, you assume is probably a build from like 2 or
They've
3
been
months ago.
testing this build for probably 4 months. at
Yeah,
least.
it's a really old
I'll
build.
tell you what though, bro. Who's ever testing over there, they gotta get some better sub players, bro. What the fuck is this jackal?
You hear that,
dude?
Tom? You hear this shit, Tom? You hear
Bro,
that?
listen,
Bro.
man. The aim is,
an
man.
opening, Tom.
Shit is unbelievable. The
The
aim
best
is
AR in the game is
unbelievable.
Tom, they
an AR.
should hit you up, bro. The West Coast, brother. Just
I mean,
Okay,
let's
so
let's
whoever
let's
has the
let's
game,
be
whoever
honest. Let's be
balancing that
honest.
shit
The Jackal's probably getting nerfed.
Bro, we know
Yeah.
that the devs are sub players, bro. We've been knowing this for years
Yeah,
and years.
no,
man.
the Jackal is it is really good. I mean, it can zap at range and you can move really fast with it. I think just how fast you move and how far the range is. Like the AR is really good, but you move really slow with it.
Bro, my
The AR
issue
brings
with
in-
that.
Go ahead, Chris.
My issue with that gun is like all that stuff, yeah, but dude, the bullet penetration on that gun is fucking insane. Like
it
on
feels so
Skyline,
good.
you get zapped by fucking tackle through
Cross
a wall.
mat, fucking boobot,
like it's
bro.
paper. Yeah, and I used I was using the C9 a lot because I just didn't want to use a Jackal because I didn't want to be a scumbag and I wanted to use a sub still. So it's not even comparable in terms of like the bullet penetration or the range that the Jackal has. That thing is fucking busted.
Well, it seems like it's getting nerfed. Before we have you had an interesting conversation with Maddox on Twitter about the SWAT. Like, seems
Oh,
like
yeah.
The
Maddox.
SWAT is insane, bro.
That's the
So Tom,
best
there's
shit.
there's a Maddox tweet if you want to pull up that's in here where he had a conversation with Krim
think-
about.
Put it in my chat.
I
Yeah, I gotcha.
actually think it needs to be buffed a little, like either the ADS. Well, definitely
Nah,
the
it
ADS.
needs to be like niche, bro. I
Oh,
was actually
definitely
talking about
ADS.
this. Just in general.
SWAT is absurd.
In my opinion, the best way to balance guns is to make them all like have unique profiles. And if you try to like make every gun like either nerf every gun or make every gun like super good, then they almost will have no personality. Like you got to have every single gun has to have a niche, a caveat that makes it weak. The SWATs is this fire rate. But when you hit all 3 shots at any range, bro, that thing actually one burst like all the time.
You get
should-
one burst
no,
80% of the
Yeah,
time.
no,
I think
I
that's
think
you
horrible.
should not.
No,
buff
I
that
think the
thing.
fire rate is fine, but it's just the
It's bro. I feel like I'm holding Optimus Prime in my hand. Like, I feel like I'm
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's fine.
yeah.
so
That's fine. It's meant
slow.
to be. It's meant to be that way. Like it's not. It's a marksman rifle. It's not an
It's
assault
high risk, high
rifle.
reward, bro. If
no,
you don't
no. But
miss, you're
here's the
not,
thing, though:
like, you're
is the
killing
aims,
everybody.
the aims beats it at long range. Like I've played against good people. I've used like leveled both guns up, and the aims is flat out better at long range. Which
Of course, it's
yeah.
supposed to be consistent.
yeah, no. But if that's the case, like a burst gun won't be used.
Correct.
Yeah,
Period.
but of course, it's never going to be used. It's a marksman rifle. Those are
No,
always
but-
banned.
Well, they're not gonna. They're trying not to ban this gun. You know.
Yeah,
what I mean?
gonna get
Maddox
banned,
is
bro.
literally
Yeah,
a
they
challenge the
wanna
team to get
use
a
it.
burst
Damn,
fire
Porter,
in the
you were
comp,
frying.
so-
Porter,
So
damn.
why would they put it in the marksman rifle category? That makes no sense.
Great question.
Yeah, I mean,
Nash is going to get banned, GA'd. It do not matter.
The
Burst-
SWAT
burst-
is insane.
Bro, I'm gonna tell you now, burst rifles will never be in like the game ever again. And the only reason they were in other games is because they were artificially like made worse because of the net code and stuff like that.
And they were
Nowadays,
full
like
of bullets.
but nowadays, if you think about it, like put it this way, back whenever Modern Warfare Remastered released, the time to kill of the guns did not change, right? The M16 was like good, but it wasn't fucking broken back in COD 4. When you played Modern Warfare Remastered, it was so busted because the net code and all that stuff got so much better that you were more consistently just getting one burst. Like nowadays, that's just not going to fly because if a burst gun doesn't necessarily have one burst potential, it'll just never be used.
I don't know if you watched
if
Formal play Black Ops 3, but he was getting one burst.
yeah, and if it does one burst, it's going to just
Yeah.
get fucking GA'd. It's going to get nerfed. Like it's
Didn't
just
it
the way
crash
it
just-
is.
champs round
It
11?
just
Do you
needs to
remember that?
be. It just needs to be 4 bullets,
dude,
bro.
Pat,
you need to
can't
have.
still be
you have
mad
to hit
about
every
X
bullet.
Defiant, bro. You can't be
Well-
mad about the X Defiant comment.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
sorry.
yeah,
I had
three
nothing to
bullets-
do-
three
I had
bullets
nothing to
is-
say
three
back then. I
bullets is
said
still
Black Ops 3 when I smoked you.
No, Jesus.
Ooh.
My bad.
Sorry.
My bad,
Well,
Porter.
Sorry, Chris.
Well, does he mean upcoming
you're
weapon
good.
tuning? So, Maddox is on the ball. The team
Shout
of
out
Turks on the ball.
Treyarch. Most
Yeah,
importantly,
that's what I wanted to
just-
say.
W-com.
Just shout out to
Just shout
Treyarch,
out
shout out to
Treyarch.
Maddox,
Like,
shout out to all these guys,
Maddox,
man.
Maddox has been DMing me like they are.
They're
far
on
and
point.
away, every single time they release a game, they are the best. At least,
Correct.
especially for competitive, just because they actually truly care about what we have going on over here, and they're doing small to medium maps. Like they have
Well, I have a question though for you.
They have
Zin.
competitive at the forefront of their mind. What's up?
If they care as much as you say they do, what the fuck are they doing with those spawns over there?
They will.
It's
well, they
hard
already
to
said that
to
they're-
tell
that
with
they're
the
gonna
spawns
fix-
right
that
now.
they're
It's
gonna
hard.
Tweak spawns and stuff.
I mean,
Nah, trust me, those guys.
They're actively talking about tweaking spawns, and I think right now playing 6v6, it's gonna be a cluster, bro. There's people blocking everything. Like it's not even like it's not structured.
Nah, spawns are kind of shit, but I just
I don't think that matters
trust
much
that
for
they
spawns.
actually
Also-
care and will change.
You don't think so, Pat?
Also, I'm
No,
sorry.
not from
This
what I
is
know.
this is also just like a realization that I think people need to have. Spawns are gonna just be enhanced. Not only again, you said 66, but by people's playstyle. Like if people played the map around, let's say you're playing an objective game mode, right? You play around the objective how it's meant to be played. There's probably going to be way stickier. There's going to be probably way less variance. But when you're playing pubs and people don't care about the objective or are just running around chasing kills, not really like caring about where they are on the map, yeah, people are going to spawn everywhere because there's every player is on a corner of the map. Like it's quite obvious. So I don't know. The spawns are definitely not good, but like they're going to be enhanced because of the way people.
I
play.
got a
Let's
question
just
for
be
you guys.
real.
The sprint assist, the sideways and backwards sprint assist. Do you guys think that will be allowed in competitive, or do you think it will be GA'd?
I think it should be nowadays. At
Why?
least
Why
the-
do you
at
think it
least
should be
the-
GA'd?
I don't think it should be GA'd.
Oh, I thought you said I think it should be. Like you think it should be
No,
GA'd.
I think it just will add to the game. Like there's just actual, and especially with like how the movement's
That's just
implemented.
ATS essentially. I didn't even use it. Is that basically as ATS?
It is, but like that's what I'm saying. Like with the current movement, like in order to sprint backwards and stuff like that, it's just so clunky without it. I feel like it would actually just make everything better.
I mean, I don't think it should be GA'd. I mean, I see people in the chat saying they think it's going to be GA'd. I think if it's in the game, it's obviously a new setting that they're adding to the movement. They don't have to do the tactical sprint. They could still keep that off. I mean, they'll probably run. I mean, they could run single tap.
There's
but-
two sprint assists. One is tactical sprint assist, which will basically make it so if you hold forward, you tack sprint. If you hold left, right, backwards, you normal sprint because you obviously can't tack sprint like
Yeah.
in those directions.
Yeah.
Right.
And then there's normal sprint assist, which if you hold forward, you won't tack sprint. You'll still have to click it again. And then if you hold left, right, and down, it'll be normal sprint like the tactical sprint assist is. So it makes it so you either have to click it once or you don't have to click it at all. Like that's all it is.
Yeah.
Bro, so I've never used ATS. This is a dumb question. Can you like just walk forward if you have ATS on? No,
No.
right?
No, you can't
No.
walk at
Oh,
all.
okay. So honestly,
I don't. I
wouldn't it be a
hate it. I
disadvantage
hate
to
it.
use it? Yeah, I would
fucking
hate that
it.
I hate ATS too. I
Tom
can
loves
never
his
use
burger
it.
walks, bro.
Bro, if somebody's in your face and you're hip firing, like the worst feeling ever is when you just start sprinting and you can't shoot and you're like, bro, what the fuck? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like that's
ATS tweaks me out. I can never use it.
I hate that shit.
Yeah, ATS is insane, but I think the normal sprint assist is good, and it's just because I think this game, at least with the guns that I've used, the normal sprint penalty is not bad, but the tactical sprint penalty is bad as fuck. So like, if you can just normal sprint around, because that's like the normal omni movement, it'll be good.
I think people should use whatever they want this year. I think when it comes to the movement settings, I think everything should just be allowed. Just let people do whatever settings they want. Let people have their own settings and call it a day. But I mean, I don't know if you guys.
It's probably the easiest thing right now. It's because like at this point, everyone's worried about if teams are breaking GAs and using this and using that. Like at this point,
Just run it.
just do it. I mean, you know what I'm
Well,
saying? Like it's
The
too
best
annoying
teams
now
and the
to
best
try and-
players will still be the best.
We'll see what happens when Shotzi sits and shits on someone in a scrim and they say, get this shit out of here.
He's gonna
so.
shit at it, but that's the thing. Like the best players will still be the best, regardless of what we do with this fucking setting. You know, if anything, you just get rid of the cheese of somebody potentially using it.
I'm going to argue that the sprint assist and stuff like that is not going to be a conversation because Shotzi is good with it, because that guy's going to have good movement with it or without it.
Yeah.
It's people that are good are going to want that shit gone because they feel like people that are normally not good with movement, not good with mechanics, are going to have it for free because it just essentially
Yeah, that's what the
does
pros
part of the
argue.
movement for
They
you.
argue that people with like pros with shit movement all of a sudden have good movement, but I don't know if that's necessarily true, bro. It'll definitely enhance their movement and make it better for sure. I can't disagree with that. But I'm not gonna go as far as saying like some of these players are gonna be moving as like the best movement players in the game. Like I think if you give the best movement players that extra gap as well, they're gonna be even better than what they were. You know, it's just a gap. Movement's just a skill gap.
But there's actually certain movements that are like infinitely harder to do with the Omni movement system if you don't have any sort of sprint assist on. Specifically, being able to like dive backwards.
Sliding and diving backwards.
Like within an instant. Because if you think about it, when you have sprint assist, all you have to do is hit backwards and hit dive. When you have that sprint assist on, you have to click down your stick, then use a direction, and then dive. And like, if you're using a controller, that is fucking awkward. Like clicking down and like clicking and pulling down is so weird. Like that is not ingrained in anybody's brain at all.
What about sniping? You guys think sniping will be allowed this year? We'll end it on that one.
I need to see more maps and I need to see smoke grenades before I make a verdict on that.
Wait. Have you guys sniped?
People are saying sniping's a lot harder. People are saying it's way harder this year. I mean, I know Scope was talking about it because he snipes every day, obviously.
People are saying it's the aim assist. Yeah, bro, there's aim assist, but dude,
There is. The flinch is very bad.
The flinch is fucking insane. If you get hit by any gun, your whole screen is literally jumping.
That's how it should be.
That's how it should be. But like that's what I'm saying. You could actually make people miss if you just tap them.
You guys got any other thoughts on Rostermania, the beta, anything at all? I mean, we pretty much covered everything.
I want to talk about RFK and seed oils.
They're putting them in our food.
They're putting seed oils in
our
poison our children.
I'm voting for Kamala, right, chat?
Sorry.
No politics on a flank. No politics here.
Sorry, guys.
But yeah, any other final thoughts, guys? Any final thoughts at all? Tony, thank you so much, Zinni, for hopping in. I appreciate you. Same with you, Porter. Thank you guys, man.
Sorry for intruding.
No, we love having you, man. I mean, people are saying Attach. I mean, yeah, I did ask that question. You guys didn't really answer, but I said
Attach is decent stock. Attach will get a roster.
I mean, I think he'll get a roster, to be honest
Bill's
with you.
chilling, bro. He had a great year.
What about me?
You're fucking
What about
horrible.
you?
Haha, suck my dick.
Holy
All right, and we're gonna call it there, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Go to anchor.fm/theflank. Check out audio sites that we're on. Go follow @theflank on Twitter. Gert's doing a phenomenal job running socials. I was thinking about making an Instagram account for the Flank as well. So stay tuned for an Instagram account. Maybe we'll bring that up as well. And of course, go to ZOOMAA.gg for the merch. We'll get some new merch out there soon. And as always, guys, it was an absolute pleasure. Thank you guys all so much for tuning into the Flank today. We will be back. Until next time, man, take care, brush your hair, and we'll see you next time on another episode of the flank, man. Take it easy. Love y'all.
Love you.
Bye.
Love
That's what I'm
you.
talking about.